Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures back in positive territory this morning as we got news Sunday. President Trump signed the $900 billion COVID-19 relief package, surprising some as the move came just 24 hours after he made comments that could have possibly led to him actually blocking that deal from going through. So positivity for the overall market as we got the deal done finally with much needed stimulus coming through. The gains this morning following a pretty muted week last week. We had all three major indexes in positive territory on the week last week, but only just barely. News of the stimulus package sending stocks that stand to benefit the most from getting some extra stimulus money higher this morning, including travel names, both the airlines and cruise operators up 2 to 3% to start. We'll talk about that group coming up. We're also watching Alibaba shares in the pre-market here, basically flat in the U.S., but shares in Hong Kong did decline more than 8% to start the week after news last week that the Chinese government was starting an investigation into Alibaba. We'll talk about that as well. Tesla shares back on watch. They're going to kick off operations in India coming up early in the new year. And we're also watching that crazy little high flyer from last week, OCGN, back on the move this morning, doing all kinds of volume. It's Monday, December 28th, 2020. TraderTV.live starts now. Look at Asian markets from the overnight session. You can see both Hong Kong and Shanghai actually ending the session lower, 1.8% for Shanghai. Hong Kong little changed overall. Again, Alibaba down 8% to start the new week over in China. Japan higher on the day. Australia as well higher, along with the Nifty in India and Korea. Let's go over to Europe, see how things are shaping up so far this morning. Yeah, nice positive numbers here right across the board, top to bottom. We'll shift over one more time. Have a look at North American futures here. The S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, all in positive territory. TSX going to be closed today for an extended holiday weekend. Boxing Day holiday here in Canada. Brazil open trading 0.6% higher. Look at Bitcoin again today, 11.5%. Big move over the weekend for Bitcoin. We'll talk about that. Both crude and gold back to the upside to start the new week as well. Good morning, guys. It's Monday. It's the last week of 2020, and we are here. We're ready to go. 11.5% on the day for Bitcoin already. We got to 28,000 over the weekend for Bitcoin, creating some distractions or disruptions in the futures markets when the futures contracts did open again late on Sunday. We had a huge, massive gap on Bitcoin futures. So interesting moves continuing for cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, that 20 break, I mean, it's highly anticipated and not disappointing anybody, I don't think. You know, pulled right back in, gave you a second little bit of a double dip, and on the way to that 30,000. So obviously that's going to be in play today. You know, we're going to be talking a little bit about it. Also, the last week of the year, you tend to see some volumes can dry up a little bit, but I look at it this morning, and the list of names that have done multiple millions of shares pre-market is rather high. There's also quite a few movers that are sort of holdovers from last week. We'll talk about Fubo coming back in, and Tesla. You know, that 680, which obviously, you know, 695 was the closing price on the S&P edition day, but 680 a big level, which could be approaching on Tesla. So there's a lot to get through this week. It should be an absolutely fun one. And hey, it's Monday, and it's every other Monday. We got our members chat that we'll be doing after the show. So lots of fun for this show today here, Sean.
Yeah, don't sleep on that, guys. If you are a member, you will get the link to join up our members chat, which is going to be today, right after we are done this show, 11:35. I'm already short this ACGN here. I'm sure you guys are too. I haven't looked yet, but OCGN there, good one to short today. And yeah, we'll check out Alibaba. Hopefully we don't make the same mistakes as we did on, what day was it? Thursday now, I guess, where we were trying to go long and catch some bottoms. I said about Alibaba, we can call it up right now. I think it was 218 or so, and we will talk about it. But this was on our list here of last week. It's going to be there today as well. Alibaba making moves to the downside. We still will watch. That's the imbalance locator there. Hard to see on a 3-minute what's happening, but look, guys, 222, we got back up there. Now we're banking downside again, 217.50. So let's just watch out for Alibaba. That's going to be on our watch. Hopefully we've learned our lesson, but I bet you all probably try to go long at some point, Brendan. Oh, also, Brendan, you talked about Bitcoin. Don't sleep on Ethereum today, up 15%. So beating Bitcoin for the day here, but not too many good things to trade as far as Ethereum based. There's ETHE on the pink sheets, as we know, and then you can always go back to Riot, Mara, some of the blockchain names.
Yeah, I was reading over the weekend as well. There are a couple of ETFs coming apparently in the new year that are going to be more crypto-based, but yeah, nothing that does a tremendous amount of volume outside of the OTC markets. Guys, coming up a little bit later in the show, I'm going to throw this up and we'll have a look at, we're going to have another members Q&A. Sean was just mentioning it briefly there. Mark Roberts going to participate in our members Q&A on this morning, coming up just after the show, 5 minutes after the show. If you are a member, you will receive the link and we can sit down for 45 minutes or so, answer any questions, anything you would like to discuss, going to be on the table. We'll bring Mark in and share some of his insight as well. Lots of experience coming from Mark Roberts. So don't forget about that. Before we get into what is moving around in the pre-market, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Valeria.
Good morning, Brendan, and hello, traders. I hope you had a great weekend and ready for a productive week. Please don't forget to hit thumbs up and let's get it started, Brendan.
Yes, let's indeed get it started. Guys, we got news late yesterday that U.S. President Trump had gone ahead and signed the $900 billion COVID relief package that he just 24 hours prior to that said he was going to block. So positive for the overall market, obviously, that this much needed money coming through for some of these companies that continue to struggle, and obviously for everyone who is still struggling with employment in the current state of this pandemic. So $900 billion package coming through. We have airlines and cruise lines and even some of the hotels I saw back to the upside this morning, guys, as we see some much needed funding coming through for them.
Yeah, it's obviously, I think as crazy as, well, I shouldn't say as crazy, as surprising as it was when it looked like the deal was going to get blocked, you sort of right back on par. It's not a gigantic move in the futures, but if you've been following along the last couple of weeks, to see up 0.75%, actually not too bad over here in the ES. And as Brendan mentioned, you do see some of the travel names bumping to the upside, but I don't think it just feels as if there weren't too many people that were betting that it was going to get for sure dropped. So it's a bit of a muted move to the upside. Still watching, Southwest, and we'll be looking at some CCL today. Win as well in the casino space, I think is going to be worth a watch. I don't know that it's going to be quite as big a positive push, simply because you have this second strain going through, and so that can be a bit of a drag on some of those names, at least in the next couple of weeks. But all that said, it's certainly a good sign. There's still, of course, talk that there's much more needed. So I would definitely expect to see in the new year, you'll probably see further stimulus. Certainly, I mean, the fiscal end, you see the Fed talking about it all the time. This isn't enough to get it done. And as long as the money keeps flowing, that's going to be good for some of those recovery names. And if the money keeps getting printed, that's going to continuously be good, obviously, for the crypto space as well.
Yeah, we'll watch some JP Morgan, going to be on watch again. And again, 126, pretty high for that one. I noticed Alibaba's bottom was 212 there on Thursday. I keep saying Friday, it'll probably happen more than once. But look, this is what we're talking about here. Some of the stimulus getting done. And look at the bank stocks, guys. A march down there on Friday, I said again, on Thursday from 125 to 123 and change. Beautiful base down there made. So I think we can maybe probably have a bottom for now, 123.50. And now you're making moves to the upside again. This is JP Morgan looking to break out past that 126.50. We will check it all. I do see some people talking also about BFT. Yeah, that's been a big one. Another big one today, up 7-8%. So congratulations to anyone long that one with me still. I haven't got out of any, so we'll wait on that. But yeah, like you mentioned, the future's rocking and rolling. This is the NASDAQ. Look, just straight upside. This is a 1-minute chart. We don't need to do much else. You've seen the way this thing's moved. Even if we go back to a 10-minute chart, it's been super strong here, even in the aftermarkets. We have the holiday there, but a nice little bump up. And I really just think that we've based out a lot. I don't think there's too much negativity in the market anymore. And we'll just wait to see. Obviously, with Joe Biden taking over the presidency, there'll be some kind of back and forth there with some policy. So that could be something. And then obviously the China worries are still on it. And we'll just wait to see. But another 1%. And it's still early, Brendan. It's only 8:40.
It is only 8:40. Just checking on this FRSX, Foresight Autonomous. Yep, still halted. This thing's been halted since 4 a.m. this morning. However, the news is out. There's an offering here. Big ADS offering, 26 million at 4.15. So 26 million notional value at $4.15. So a little bit lower than we ended the day back on Thursday. So if you're watching that FRSX, that is an offering. Let's bring in our good friend, Mark Roberts, president of Sun Lake Strategies, and get his take on how we approach the new trading week, the last trading week, as I mentioned, of 2020. Guys, if we have Mark ready, we can bring him in anytime, and we'll get going on what is moving around in the pre-market here. We have a number of catalysts to get through this morning. Mark, obviously, good morning. First of all, welcome to the last week of 2020. It seems like this year has gone by very quickly. However, back in positive territory from an overall sense, maybe just to start things off, Mark, deals done, obviously. The money is going to be coming through as we expected all along. I mean, we're positive, yes, but is there any signs that we might be getting to a point where this market needs a pullback?
The answer is definitely yes. I think you'll see it in the first week of January, somewhere between the time that the Georgia elections take place and toward the end of the following week. I'm a little skeptical going into January, but for this week, I'm very bullish.
On the vaccine front, we got news from AstraZeneca over the weekend that apparently their vaccine is, in fact, effective when it comes to this mutated strain of the COVID virus. They're expecting UK approval for their COVID-19 vaccine coming possibly even today. Not a huge response as far as the stock is concerned this morning. What's your take on this whole new strain of vaccine?
Personally, I am a seller into the news from the day trading point of view. All of the good news is out. There isn't going to be really anything that I can see that's going to make a huge difference. There were issues of the government rolling it out early on, issues of it being sent to wrong distribution centers like in New York, but these things will get worked out. We're talking about trying to vaccinate multiple hundred of millions of people. So my guess is by sometime in the August, September area, you'll probably get to close to 300 million people.
So targeting possibly the latter half of the year before we see any kind of positivity coming from the vaccine taking effect. Let's talk about retail names here a little bit. Mark, I saw you had a note in your morning note this morning suggesting that holiday sales still on the positive side of things, not a huge bump, 3% to the upside according to MasterCard. Is there one or two names here maybe in the retail group that might get a little bit of a move this morning on that?
Well, I think depending on what region of the country you're in, Burlington, BURL looked interesting. I'm looking at Gap stores. We talked last week about Best Buy. Bed Bath & Beyond is a sleeper that I've been looking at. That seems to have been starting to turn itself around. That's triple BY. So there's a lot of different ways to play it. Again, I always go back to what the management is doing and how the balance sheet looks in a very rudimentary way, if you will. But for us, since it's been cold, Burlington should do well. The biggest of the box stores worry me a little bit, like Nordstrom and the rest. So those I stay away from for the moment.
Being said, from a general standpoint, Mark, going into the final 4 days of the year here, from a volume standpoint, from a liquidity standpoint, some positioning or repositioning from the bigger players in the market. What should we expect as far as liquidity this week?
Oh, I think it'll dry up very quickly. I think most of those funds have had very good returns for the year, and I would think most of them have either closed their books or will by today.
Great stuff. Mark, we'll bring in Neil and Sean here and discuss some more individual names.
Welcome back, Mark. First of all, I hope the holidays treated you well, and welcome to the show. Also, I want to thank you for jumping in and doing our Q&A after the show today. I think it should be a heck of a lot of fun.
My pleasure. I'm not sure what I'm getting myself into, but it'll be interesting.
Oh, believe me, you'll. I think you'll have zero trouble whatsoever with your experience here. So we sort of talked a little bit about the bill and the new strain and some of the vaccine rollouts here. So where does this leave us with something like? Let's just talk about maybe Southwest here, because I know that's one of the names that you like, and you're only looking at a 1.5% move to the upside. As far as recoveries go, there's still certainly some room to go. I think in this space, the casinos have a little bit of room to come. My only concern with potential moves, at least this week, would be you still have that sort of issue with the new strain, and then of course that could drag into the next few weeks and months. Also, vaccine rollout being probably not as fast and as effective as I think some people would have expected, and that could be a little bit of a drag. Is this a thing where we're preaching patience here? I know for a day trade, I was immediately looking at a shot to break out through this current high, 47.20. I think maybe you can at least retest that 48.49. But the question is, will we have enough juice this week as the final week of the year for some of those moves to happen, specifically in the airlines?
I think you will. I was just looking this morning. The U.S. screened 1.28 million people on Sunday. That's the largest number since March. When I talk to many of the people who tend to travel, whether it's New York to Florida, and again, not necessarily younger people, but older people, everybody is starting to fly again. My own personal feeling is I'm still cautious, but more people I talk to are flying than they did months ago, and I think that's a good sign. So I still go with LUV, Alaska Air, and JetBlue. Awesome,
Mark. I'm looking 47.20 current top, a little bit of a break here. I mentioned the casino sort of in passing there, and it's exactly the same move to the upside on win today. So you're not essentially getting a gigantic gap, but the chart looks basically, it's very, very similar on the daily here with this consolidation, and then maybe it's about a 15% move to get you back to that March high or so. This is one that I kind of feel like if you're looking at what's going to be effective, at least in the new year, it seems like a no-brainer. Well, it seems a little bit like a no-brainer to me, at least. That the second people have an opportunity to move around and enjoy themselves a little bit more, certain things like heading to the casino, I know Vegas will do well, LVS, it just seems like that's a bit of a no-brainer. In terms of timelines on when you think that catch-up will be, I'm just sort of saying you got to find a space in the Q1 to get into the casinos for that type of a move. But in terms of a timeline, where do you actually see some of these names starting to make their move here? Because it's been a sort of a sideways action for a few weeks now.
Well, the market tends to lead, so let's call it 4 to 6 months. So these stocks, whatever you think will happen sometime in June, they'll start to make their slow moves. They may back and fill a bit. As long as you're not seeing a lot of downside volume, I think they'll inch higher. So it makes me rather bullish. Again, we've talked about the Disneys of the world. Yeah. Those are important type of names, but I'm starting to warm up. Cruise lines I still have an issue with. They're going to be a longer situation, but from the airlines, I think those will prove to be much more profitable.
Thanks a ton, Mark. I know Sean has a couple names he wants to talk to you about, so I'm going to throw you over there.
Hey, Mark, thank you for joining us again, and yeah, it's going to be a fun time with our Q&A, but don't worry, we'll give you every question, and you'll be fine. Speak about Q&A, let's get warmed up to that idea right now. Pat, one of our members, right here, he says, can you ask Mark about SPCX? It's the ETF you mentioned a couple weeks ago. And of course, Mark, just to remind you, that is the SPAC ETF where they're investing in various SPACs and I guess doing the work for you, trying to put money where they believe money will work. So SPXC, I don't have much to show you here, obviously, or any of our viewers. It just came to market on, I guess, the 17th or 18th from looks like here. And $25 up to 27 and change. And it looks like today will be around 27. With that being said, do you have any more thoughts on this one? I can't remember clearly what your recommendation was, but SPCX.
I think this is a clear winner. You may back and fill a bit, maybe 25.80, 26.10, but I think on balance, this will prove to be a winner at least for the first quarter or two in 2021.
Yeah, not going to be a whole hell of a lot of volume, but I guess if you want to take some of the risk away from some of the SPACs, then that's great. My biggest one that I've been talking about with all of our viewers here, and come on, BFT, is PaySafe, which is going to turn into PaySafe. That's BFT. And we're super excited about that one. I've been recommending this one basically since its inauguration there. I love the digital space. You know that, Mark. PayPal was my call of 2020. We're going to save the 2021 one for that time. But right now, BFT making a move, 8% up to all-time high, 1670 here today. And again, come on, chart. Let's see if we can get this loading here. It's broken out, obviously, Mark, as you can see on this chart. I think we get a chance again with some negative news probably just in the market with some of these names coming off. Probably get a chance to get back in $13.50, $14 area. But any word that you're hearing about BFT, of course, which is going to turn into PaySafe, do you like that SPAC? Any ideas moving forward here for this name?
The stock acts great. Volume is picking up. I would say it looks like a clear winner in here. Other names that I like to look at is SI, which is in the digital space too.
Okay.
And also, Facebook got some interesting news today with their coin. The regulatory industry is starting to warm up. So Facebook may be back in play off of the digital side.
Yeah, I mean, I think Facebook, honestly, Mark, I think Facebook has been in play forever because they always have something going on. Like, for example, I think it's pretty underrated as well. Look, I just picked up the Oculus Quest, which is the VR headset. They bought Oculus years and years ago and really haven't done a whole hell of a lot with that. And I think that might be another catalyst for Facebook. You can see on the chart here as well. Plus Facebook Shops, right? They have that new Instagram stores plus Facebook Shops doing wonders for small businesses as well when we see Shopify at all-time highs. But this base here, 250 or so on Facebook, like, I mean, I think you can buy and you can load up the truck if you get it back down there, similar to a Microsoft drop as well. So do we think that Facebook now is not really, I mean, you know, all these high flyers, Mark, we used to be worried about these FANG names and that they can drop and move with the market, but they seem to be pretty solid. Like on a day chart here for Facebook, there's actually not that much action. It's pretty calmed down now. Do you think it starts to get going now? I mean, the high is 310. We're stuck here. We've sort of been, like right now we're at 270. We were at 270 back in August. Mark, has it been dead money? Like, what are we doing with Facebook? Do we wait for it to break out? Do we start dipping now? This is a name that I'm interested in.
I think you've got the headwinds are potential regulatory issues. I don't know how the Democrats and the Republicans will play it out in the new administration. They may try to break it up. They may try to penalize them. I don't know that part of it. As far as being an innovator and a disruptor, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, Netflix, they're all there. They're not going away. It's just a question of where they are at one moment in time. But regulatory issues will be the headwind for the moment.
Right, so let's go with one name here. So if you could pick any of those names, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Netflix, anything like that, where do you think is a good spot? Or let's just talk about right now. Which one of those names would you start putting money to work right now out of all the big guys, Mark? I know you talked about the Momentum ETF. That might be a good name as well. But if we could pick an individual name out of all those major cap names, which one would you pick?
Probably Microsoft.
Just to start with. Yeah, I agree. Microsoft's my largest one too.
Yeah, I think I know too many managers that missed many an opportunity to buy and or to add to this. So I think there's an underlying floor to the stock. And it may be $10 away, but the point of the story is you'll see buyers coming into Microsoft on any major dips.
Okay, yeah, I was trying to load up the Microsoft chart there, and it's still on Facebook. But yeah, the same thing. It's also, I don't know, just bunched up here, all these stocks. But I agree with you. I would love to get Microsoft. They keep talking about 200, a great spot. Mark, we won't leave you for too much longer. You're going to be back with us at about 11:35, 11:40. We'll see you then, and we'll give it over to Brendan. Thanks again, Mark, for everything.
Pleasure.
Yeah, Mark Roberts, president of Sun Lake Strategy. Appreciate your time. Once again this morning, we'll speak again at 11:35.
Okay, great. See you then.
There we go, guys. A little bit of a start to your Monday morning from Mark Roberts. Again, if you haven't done so, sign up for the membership. Just $4.99 a month. You can join us at 11:35. We'll talk about whatever you want. We answer as many questions as we possibly can. Mark is going to sit in with us on that today. Guys, we have a lot to get through on the watch list this morning. There are quite a few names moving around in the pre-market. I was just having a look at a couple of them right now, including one that's not actually. We'll start with GRNQ here, Green Pro Capital. This one just popping up a little bit late this morning. Was down here around 120, doing absolutely nothing. And then they came out and said they're going to start a Bitcoin fund for investment. So they intend to set up a Bitcoin fund for investment. This GRNQ, if you're wondering on that one, 135% already. This is a former big runner, guys. This one had a pretty epic squeeze if you go back to the beginning of last year.
Yeah,
having one right now.
It's literally having one into the same price that it's done a few times now, the same $3 price area. So obviously, I'm going to check to see first to make sure we have some locates on it. But it's a similar, typical thing. You have to be wary of the space because anytime you say crypto and we've already had the 20 break and you're seeing what's happening in Bitcoin right now, you have to be a little bit worried, especially on lighter volumes this week. So if it can hold this level, fine, it looks okay for a short. Overall, you try to stay away from the sexiest names if you're going to go against the grain. It seems like it could have a nice little break because I see this 312, maybe it's like a 315 area. And if it busts through that at the open, you could have one of these crazy run-ins on your hands. Not the first thing I'll be looking to short, that's for sure. ACY, you can see I already have. I love much better, and I certainly like OCGN as well.
Like, honestly, I mean, Brendan, I know it's a good name there, but I'm not going to stand in the way of any of those crypto names. Not on a name I don't know. If I'm going to trade crypto, I do like what he was talking about there, and myself, PayPal, Square. There's a few other ones, Riot, Mara, things like that. So I still have OCGN. We're just watching this one as we've been averaging into it. But yeah, I prefer other names other than GRNQ because it's going to get squeezed and it's already breaking through $3. So I don't really know where the top is to trade that one. I think the best idea is to wait until you do see a turnaround. Hammer the short.
Agreed. GRNQ, guys, Green Pro Capital. Here we go, upgrades and downgrades for the morning. A bit of a theme on this side of the board, upgrades today. All chip makers, AMD, Microchip, Micron, and Qualcomm, all on this side of the board, all in positive territory. Not a lot on the downgrade side. Nikola is positive, but only just. If you remember, we came off significantly last week. Nikola on the watch list, we'll talk about it. And this Ocular Therapeutics, going to be an interesting day, guys, for the chip makers, possibly.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, we'll be looking at Micron and AMD. AMD is a name that we always like here on the show. And look, on an upgrade, it doesn't get much better than AMD to begin with. I really feel this trades fantastically. It does watch the market. You can get huge moves off AMD. We do have these kind of bottoms, right, well, they're the tops, but they're forming bottoms now, 92.50. I mean, I know we're right there right now. This is a 3-minute chart, but if you do look the last couple days, including Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, you did have some issues here at 92.40, 92.30. So I definitely do like, what is this? AMD, obviously there. And you do have even lower base, 91.30. If we're lucky enough to get anything down there, then giddy up. We'll take a break through 93.50. But look, we still have a half hour until the market goes. I did want to give a shout out quickly. I saw somebody already, I think it was Rolling Records. Thank you for the $5. And that was about BFT. Dan, thank you so much for the tenor there. And then Rox Fern, thank you so much. We do have that, guys. Remember, it was well received last time, Neil. You know that. Our back and forth, our Q&A with our members. And that's going to be happening again today. So you want to ask us any questions, Valeria will be here too. You can ask her whatever she likes in her Starbucks, anything like that as well. Neil. We'd prefer trading-related questions, but Neil, I know we're ready to answer anything.
Yeah, just about. I mean, we can have fun with it too, guys. So it's nothing wrong with that. I feel like we're always ignoring Micron. Maybe that's true. I don't know. I mean, AMD certainly is the better day trade, almost 100% of the time. I don't know if that's always going to be the case. I'm just looking at this consolidation in the daily in Micron, and you get this nice 70 support. At some point, we're going to catch this break through 75, and just be geared up for that. Maybe it'll be next week. Anticipating a little things might slow down just a little bit on this week, but I'm watching this 75 level on the daily chart on Micron. And certainly when it gets there, going to be all over it. You can probably play it off of these bottoms here, this 69 to 70 area bottom. Quickly, it's 9 o'clock. I know we have a half an hour to the open, but probably should go over a couple of positions. We've talked about OccuGen already. This was an early one for me. I had it on a bit of a pop. It was just too juicy not to take it when I saw it run into this 265. I saw it just when I sat down, it couldn't get through 275 tops. It was a good short. I was shorting it last week. Caught some right here in the 60-61 range. New position as we took it on this little consolidation here at 240. But as long as this one wants to slide for us, we've already done pretty solid getting like 20, 30 cent wins on the way down. I still think it can get to $2 with a 176 close. The other one, ACY, we'll get to a little bit later, but that's like over $1 in the money. But there was the only news I saw on that one was that they possibly met some listing requirements with the NYSE market there, but ultimately nothing material to the actual company that I could find.
Yeah, there's also remember that AIRT from last week? We had that AIRT, I believe it was, which is an aircraft leasing company. This ACY is also an aircraft leasing company. So more money to airlines possibly means good things for ACY. So AIRT also moving around here. Let's bring in Arun. We'll have a look at the futures, see what levels we need to be aware of this morning heading into, again, final trading week of 2020. Arun, we are back. It is Monday. We're back to the top end of the range on the overall market here. What are you looking at today?
Yeah, that 37.25 that we were talking about last week, we finally got a chance to take a look at what's past it. And it looks like that level is going to slide a little bit. So 37.30 is going to be a level from 37.25. We moved it up 5 points. 37.30. So I'm watching that on the top end here. If we can get underneath 20, then I think there's potential for a short with 30 as a stop. And of course, 37.10 is also available. So we're kind of like in between a range, quite the range here. 37.30 on the top end, 37.10 on the bottom, and we're right in the middle there. If we can get underneath 20, I think we have a chance to go to the short, to the bottom end of the range. If we break 10, then we really have a chance to get down into the 90s, into the evens, in the 95s. So 36.90 is the level below that. So 36.90, 37.10, and then 37.30. If we can get underneath 20, then we have potential for a short. If we get above 30, then I think I'm going to go ahead and use that 10 as a stop on the long side. So there's quite a few options there. It's just a matter of mix and match, and whichever one they decide to go with off the open. And my whole thing with the coming out the holiday is we don't know what the residual interest is in the direction that they're going to go with. So I'm going to wait for the open to see what happens, because holiday volume, there's a lot of things that happen throughout the holidays because markets have been closed. A lot of people have different intentions, and that'll be shown off the open in what direction they really want to chase. So I'll wait for that. Once we decide, I will go ahead and go in that direction, depending on the levels and how we break either one of those levels that I given you.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning as we get ready for the open. Guys, if you haven't done so already, make sure you grab the watch list. Absolutely free to you. All you have to do is enter your email address. We do find that Gmail accounts work the best as far as delivery is concerned. If you have one, Valeria will help you out with that in the chat. Absolutely free, guys. We talk about all the names that are moving around in the pre-market and why, and then discuss how we can approach trading them. We already went over a bunch of the travel names, guys. Is there one or two you want to focus on here? Obviously, higher as a group following the signing of the $900 billion COVID stimulus package over the weekend. Maybe one or two names, guys, that we want to look at heading towards the open.
Yeah, I mean, we already talked Southwest with Mark, but I just sort of want to go over just looking at the 15-minute chart, because I don't know that I actually showed it to you guys here. You get this Thursday and Friday. Yeah, I keep saying I do the same thing as you there, Sean. Wednesday and Thursday top on Southwest, 47, 47, 20. I'm going to like this for a bit of a break. 30 was the actual high, but this was essentially pre-market top levels. It didn't actually trade there in the open market, so you do have that 20 from the pre-market today, which I think is going to be a good level. I'm looking for that for a potential little break here if we get some continuation in the overall market and in the airline. So it's Southwest for me, but that's more of a chart of a chart level here, as opposed to, usually I'd trade like a CCL or an AAL, but I just like the setup here, guys.
Yeah, I was looking at Spirit Airlines. CCL is gonna be there, and we will trade that probably and talk about that. Spirit Air has a 24 bid a little bit the last couple days there, including back Wednesday, Thursday, down here 24.05 the bottom. The bottom back on Tuesday was 24 even as well. So I think if Spirit Airlines, Brendan, can get down to 24 and change, that's not bad. I'm actually going to put a bid down here right now, like 24 quarter, 24.30, something like that. See if we can't catch some negativity off the open. Quick look here. Like, I don't know why I'm showing this. We don't even have, we have 5,000 people watching Valeria and only 800 likes. So we'll see if we can get, if you guys can't turn that like little thumbs up, blue or white, depending on what you're doing. But NEO here, BFT as well. PLTR, Fubo, we'll get to all these as well coming up. And then there's Alibaba, guys, 230,000 to the sell side. So lots happening on a lot of these names, but you're talking about the cruise lines and travel. So I like Spirit Air down there. We did talk about CCL. I called it up to see if there was any CCL love on here. And yeah, there's not. I mean, I don't really see any names on here, to be honest with you. So we will wait to see. But here's okay, that was quick. That's 1,000 right there. Thanks, guys. 2150 maybe on CCL. How much? 1,300. Thank you. Good update there, Val. If you like Valeria's green shirt, hopefully that's a money-making opportunity for all of us. But CCL to the downside, not much. So my pick there, Brendan, you asked if we had anything. I have a bid down here on Save in the 30s.
Yeah, going to be a group anyways to keep in mind as we head towards the open here. Let's go to Tesla, guys, the next one on the list. When all was said and done, there was a lot of negativity coming out of the weekend. Last weekend, remember Monday, the first day on the S&P for Tesla. At the end of the week, it was only down 2.7%. So a big day on Thursday did help that, but overall, not a bad debut for Tesla on the S&P. It was pretty muted overall. The company and the country of India both confirming this morning that operations in India is set to kick off early in the new year, beginning with sales, retail sales, and then they're even talking about possibly setting up manufacturing facilities in India, guys.
Well, I mean, we're right back over where I sold it at. So every time you sell Tesla, you're going to get a little bit of FOMO because you're either going to be right and it drops and you never know when to buy it again, or you're wrong and it just keeps on going higher. And I think that's what's happening right now with Tesla. New year, no problem, although we're still in 2020. We'll go watch to see what this does in the new year, being added to the S&P 500. And then now you're back up to 676. I mean, you can look at a daily chart here. It doesn't go great because we still don't have that fixed. But 703 there, been the recent high. To be honest with you, man, we could get to that today. If we go to a 1-minute chart, so far you're already at 1.1 million shares on a $700 stock. Like, there's money just running into this name. You have a beautiful bottom here at 673 already. I don't know, Neil. I mean, this just took off from 665 and just hasn't stopped all morning. Like, that's a smooth 10 bucks straight up. Nothing stopping this name. 676, I guess we just take that out. What is the ultimate high here? The 676.50. I think would be silly not to go long and try it off the open.
It's just one of those things, Sean. It just feels inevitable that you get this little test of that. What I call the high. I know 680 is not the high, and 695 is definitely going to be that top. It's inevitable that I think we get tests of both. I just didn't think it would happen this quickly. I mean, I came sitting in today thinking we'd get a 670 break, and that was the level we were looking at last week. So that one's going to be out of the cards. Not name looking to short. I am now watching this 250 level on OCGN. I reloaded, and I'm kind of saying to myself, I never want to be reloading. If something is falling all morning long and I'm in the money on a short, why am I reloading at between 9 and 9.25? Either way, we'll watch 250 because it's looking pretty strong there. Tesla, I'm liking the long as well, Sean. Now that 670 has broken, I'm really hoping for a dip back into that price, or maybe even a little deeper into a 665. The idea of going long right into that 680 wasn't nearly anything close to any plan I would have had coming in when I sat down today. So I'm going to back off from that idea and think about pulling back into that 670, because that's the trade I really wanted when I sat down.
Let's go to Nikola next, guys. We had a big move down at the end of last week, or the last couple of days of last week, after the company announced that their contract for the garbage trucks was no longer. That was discontinued. JP Morgan out this morning with both a downgrade and price target decrease again on top of that for Nikola. So we are positive actually sitting here, but I remember we had this huge move to the downside to end last week, kind of hanging out here between 1380 and 14 for Nikola.
What did I even write down here? Yeah, I wrote down the very bottom of 1365. I mean, just thinking that we could break downside here. Again, my doesn't go back that far, my charts here, but 1375 was the bottom. I want to basically fade everything that is Nikola. We were short it on Friday, on Thursday, and just keeps on coming through, so that was a good trade. We did base out here, though, guys, at this bottom. This is where I got 1365 from. It was the bottom on Thursday, so that's kind of a level that I'm looking to see if we can break that. We could hold it. I mean, there's no doubt about that. That level could hold. The bottom's not too much lower, 1350. So if you do take this 65 break, we'll probably take it with a decent amount of shares, and then honestly be out like at least half by 1350. And then if 1350 breaks, I think you can go again. But when you have that kind of negative news, I just wonder if this is kind of like that could have been the bottom there that day back on Wednesday before ripping higher, and then that could have been the bottom. So I'm wondering if we just tested, like these bottoms are getting higher. So this one, and again, this could be the bottom today. So let's just look to see what does happen. I'm actually, now that I look at this, I'm debating a break, to be honest with you here. 14, like if we break through 14 here, what time is it? 9:10. I don't mind Nikola to run at least to this 14.25 area to see what happens. But look, I don't know much about the business other than they're losing all the contracts. And when that happens and you don't even have a product, maybe we need to get Randy back on. But I don't think Nikola is the name that everyone thought it would be. That's obvious. Trevor Milton's been a joke. I know he's not there anymore. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't have much ideas on Nikola other than maybe these have been bottoms here and we get a little bit of momentum to break through 14. That would be my thought.
Sean, you mentioned Randy there, and I remember there was a few months, maybe it was a couple of months ago, I had a conversation with Randy because I wanted someone to explain to me why Nikola would be a player, or a big player, at least in the upcoming years when it comes to the alternative vehicle space. And it's just, he couldn't convince me, and definitely he didn't think so necessarily either with their model. The only caveat that I have is every time Nikola has had one of these massive drops for a couple of days, and it finds any kind of a bit of a double bottom, usually there's a squeeze that happens, Sean. And I had 1430 written down, and I know 14 even sticks out like a sore thumb as well. But 1430, that little bounce that it did have on Thursday, I think if it breaks through there, I'm going to be looking a little bit bearish again. Bullish, bullish in terms of a day trade anyways, for a break and just a potential squeeze. Keep in mind, it is still going to be short sell restricted. I know it's up 1%, but that rule applies for the day that it moves 10% down and the following day. So look, if it breaks bottoms, fine, we'll try to get the shares as well. I like that look, but I'm looking at a 1430. If it goes through there, I'm thinking squeeze. So we'll scalp that probably to this first consolidation where it was like 65s and then up to 15 even would be those targets. So that's a trade I think is more likely to happen here just based on Nikola's history.
All right, guys, moving right along here. Let's go to Plug Power next. We had quite the positive week for Plug last week. No significant news this morning. There was a couple of upgrades at the end of last week. They announced more contracts as well for more distribution of their EV charging stations throughout the U.S., mainly on the East Coast. Their operations are based. But here we are Monday morning once again, and yeah, 4.3%. We're basically right back to all-time highs here for Plug Power.
Yeah, okay, when we just finished talking about one that you buy reluctantly because of squeeze. But Plug, we probably missed, or at least I know I've missed certainly a lot of the party here in terms of the day trade on Plug. And I look at this top, and I'm watching 37.75, and that's a break that I like, and that's a break that I'm probably going to have when it pushes through. But right here, right now, you're looking at a very, very tight consolidation. It's only up 4% today. This is a week where I think some of the hype names are probably going to have some follow-through in their moves, and makes it worthwhile to get some of those breakouts because the first trade might be the best trade. So I'm looking at 37.20. Usually, I'd be probably waiting for a break of that high from last week or a dip down into 36.50. I think in the case of Plug Power, I'm sort of tired of missing out on this and then looking back at 10:30 and saying, why wasn't I involved in that one early? So I'll give it a shot here through 37.20. It's close enough now to the open with 15 minutes to go that I think getting that execution isn't the end of the world. It's done 500,000 shares in volume, so that's not too big of a concern. You have a couple of levels to work off of, 37 even, 36.80 as well. And just one thing that we haven't mentioned yet before I throw to Sean here, our animations are having some trouble, guys. So we're going to do our best to keep it exciting in other ways, but we might not be able to trigger them as much as we usually do, or maybe even at all. So sorry about that.
Is that true? We can't do our animations? I know we got
there's an issue.
Oh, God. That sucks. Okay. We've been getting some questions. If we don't answer them, then we don't get them anymore. So there it is, guys. What do we think of Fubo this week? With some thumbs up. Thank you for the question. And we can talk about that. I mean, look at Fubo. This is the last couple of days. You're down that 8% today. I know it's a TV play. There's been a lot of talk about this name. Up here was definitely, how many tops do we need to see here? 58, and we never really broke it, so I'm a little nervous about that. And then we go back over here to the daily chart if it loads, which it will hopefully. Come on, Fubo here. Sorry, guys, I thought I had this open for you, but now it's not going. There it is. I mean, this move is just straight to the upside. And, once it breaks this level here of $30, you do get tons of volume coming in. They do have a lot of news there. This volume spike was up to that 61. Like I said, we had problems at that 58. We can go back to that chart again to show you. I don't really know what to tell you guys other than, we're going to be an issue when we break back down below this level right here, $37. So I think if you're caught in a long, I wouldn't want to stay in this if this does break below 37, just because you could gap fill then back to this consolidation, sort of where we were pre-news. So I would be very, very careful if I was still caught long on Fubo. But for a day trade here, I do like it if we break this level, 45. So it's bounced off 45 a couple times. I would take this long, no problem, on a 45 break and then give it back to about 42, 43. So I like Fubo on a 45 break. But don't take the long until you get that. And if you're already stuck long, I'd wait for a 37 break.
Yeah, maybe a case of too far, too fast on Fubo. Not even halfway back if you look at the actual daily chart on Fubo, but a nice move. Let's go to C3AI. Continues to be the most active and the most relatively strong when it comes to that group of IPOs that we had going back a week or two ago. 284% now, guys, from IPO pricing for this AI. Back to the upside again today.
Look, this stock is it's been the strong one. Yeah, we keep talking about it relative to Airbnb and of course DoorDash, and it'll always be related to those names. Liquidity was a bit of a concern last week, I should say, yesterday. But this name has been too good not to take a shot at. I immediately am watching 167 top. You look at the failed push through, and we talked about a 172 short that I missed, of course, on Thursday. But either way, if you get back through this 167, I think we test that 172. Here's the problem. 80,000 shares pre-market, 13 minutes to go, and that's on the offer right now. I cannot take this trade at 13 minutes before the open. It's just entirely too early. The spread will open up on you. It's only 50 cents right now, but I've seen it sort of get to that $1.25 that I don't want to have that for 10, 15 minutes going into the open. And then, suddenly your support could be as low as like 160. You punch it at a 165 and you didn't give it enough room. So I'm trying to see if we can't get around that 167 or maybe a pullback, or maybe it actually comes back down and gives me a break at 9:30. It's a trade I want after the open, but 167 is the only level I have written down on C3AI, so that's the one I want to play today. Last week's levels at 172 to 175 certainly can come into play for targets, and if it goes downside, we know 150 was great support.
Yeah, there's Airbnb, there's DoorDash. There's so many. Neil went over C3AI there, so there's no point in really doing that one. Airbnb up to 160 there yesterday, Thursday, and we get it, and it bounces way off that. It has the high 164 in change. Again, come on, these charts today not working well on my computer, but we'll get those loaded up in a minute. Yeah, it's just not bouncing. Okay, so 160 here on Airbnb. I just want to talk about that. We did fade off of this 170 level a couple times. Bang there, bang there. It's 172 to be exact. And then we start heading to the downside, more downside action. And then now Airbnb today, still up that 1.85%. But I would definitely watch these levels on Airbnb. 163, if we can get near 163 again, again and break out, we probably go back to 170. There's still lots of love for these new names.
All right, guys, Myovent Sciences, drug maker, teaming up with Pfizer for both continued manufacturing, development, and distribution and marketing of a cancer treatment that they are known for. So MYOV, the first one, up big time this morning on that news. The deal with Pfizer worth about $4.2 million, $650 million up front, plus $200 million to come. With FDA approvals and things of that nature. So a cancer drug here. This is not vaccine related for once, but Myovent on the move this morning.
Yeah, remember, there's been a few names, some cancer drugs news that have sent stocks parabolic before. I don't know that this is going to be one here. Oops, that's actually the wrong chart. Let's go to Myovent. There we go. Loading up a little bit nicer for me and faster this shot, but it actually just made a bit of a break, and I was watching this level here for a rollover. I just wanted to see if 28.50 could have held. Then maybe you'd see some profit taking. Obviously, the reverse has come true. With only 10 minutes into the open, the only thing I'll be watching other than maybe a retake of that 28.55 level would be if it attempts to make a break towards 31.32. It just feels like it's good news. That's a good deal. But you saw those numbers, and they're not necessarily groundbreaking in terms of volumes. And 30% is a very, very healthy number. If we go another 15% from here, this 30 up to the test, the top, I just feel like that's going to be worth the short. I would definitely be watching 26 to 27. You've already seen some buying come in on decent volume pre-market at that price. That seems like a much more reasonable level of support than that 28.50 where it just broke out.
All right, a lot of talk here on Alibaba, and look, man, it's just same old. It's cracking down on the downside. I talked about this on Thursday, and we talked about it being a 3-day kind of slide. So, the regulatory news comes out there on Thursday, Friday of last week, and then we drop down. That's 1 day down to 212, and then this is the second day here. So we're just going to wait to see the dance down here. Sorry, we have these dark prints, but this dance down here at 212. That's where we bounced off a couple times on Thursday. So we're still waiting to see what happens around 212, and honestly, I don't think we need to do anything until that does happen. Look at this 1 minute mark here, chart on the mark. Just straight down. I mean, I don't really see. I mean, could we bounce off 215? Sure. I just think we wait for pullbacks to short this thing. VWAP up to 218. And thank you so much, Searching Life, there for that super chat. And we'll, again, I see a lot of names on here, but we can't answer them all. So Baba is on here a lot. Neo's going to be on here. Neo's not on our list today, but we can look quickly at Neo. It has to be on your list every day.
Just for a quick side, I did see one about NVIDIA. And I apologize, I didn't catch the name on that. And I think it was more talking about, do you give it like a 2.5% pullback or something along those lines? You saw there was like multiple upgrades overall in the space. You do have both a 510 area that's going to be supported and 500 as well psychologically. And anytime you see this sort of consolidation down towards a higher low put in on the last couple of weeks, there's always a potential break. And I think the positive news in the space also gives you that wind as well. So I kind of would be holding on to see if you can't retest some of those highs. And certainly so a name you probably want to see if you can hold into next year, as the early year could be kind to names like this.
All right, guys, we talked about AstraZeneca a little bit with Mark Roberts this morning. They said over the weekend that their COVID-19 vaccine is most likely effective against the new strain that is floating around over in the UK specifically, but AstraZeneca getting a little bump on that news this morning. They're also expecting UK approval any day now, possibly even today, for that vaccine. I want to shift down to fuel cell, though, guys. Let's have a look at fuel cell. Big mover over the past couple of sessions. More positivity coming from analysts this morning around this clean energy name. Morgan Stanley out this morning revealing a $7.3 million position in F-Cell. So another bump for that one.
Yeah, I mean, last week we were looking for that 14 break. I know I missed we missed a good rollover short, but if you have a bias, you had a bias, and coming in, I wanted that break to the upside. We are gapping up, but all things in context, you're still in the middle of this range from Thursday. So 14 is still in play as a bit of a breakout. The only difference here is you can look at like a 13.25 or 13.30 break, which is it's sort of very, very similar to what I was talking about on Plug Power, where you might take that first break just because you don't want to wait all the way around for that secondary one at 14 even. So my eyeballs are on 13.25. The only problem here is fuel cell 13.25 Plug, 37.20, 37.70. Southwest, 47.20. I got shorts in ACY and OCGN. You can see where I'm getting it here. Already half a dozen names that I kind of think I could have off the open, and you throw C3AI in there. So to get to that point where you got to pick and choose. And for now, I might be taking Plug Power over fuel cell long, depending on the order or the timing of these moves.
Okay, I did want to, I want fuel cell long and I want Plug Power long. And I've been told to Brendan to skip right to BFT, so let's just do that. Again, this is our watch list, right? So if you guys want this, it's called Morning Movers and it's completely free. FREE, Miss V, please drop that link. And look, it goes over everything. AI, what we think and why, what the percentages are going on there. Everything's on here. AstraZeneca, we've got all of these. But here's BFT, Fully Transamine Corporation. We know this is going to be pay safe. We know this is the SPAC that I love. It's a $9 billion deal. All the details are here, guys. And right now, it's breaking out. Obviously, needless to say, this is a daily chart. We've just took out that 15 level that we were really worried about. Bounced off. It was 1550. Loved waking up this morning, looking over, checking the phone, and seeing that we were up already. So that's a nice one. 1.65 million shares. Look. For me, I think we can buy this. I mean, I'll take the break, obviously, of the high side here, 1670. So we'll take that break and we'll put that order in soon. But we will also look to get longer down here, 1620. I think we can just try it, take a 16 bid here as our out. So I think that this is going to be one that will run to the high side, 1670, with not too much time left. So we'll put that order in, and then we'll also put some orders to get long, 16 teens or so, in case we get that opportunity. Let's just check out one more time before we throw it back. Look, Alibaba is still 215 and going downside there with that big one. BFT, we just talked about it, is right there. And I love a NEO break. Again, I know we haven't talked too much about that, but NEO taking out the high of the day. This has just been marching upside. But remember, what we know about NEO is it can and will tank. So I already have some bids downside, 46, 46.05 and change, to see if we can't get some NEO bids as it normally heads to the downside early. So we're waiting for some bids down there. Palantir, we've talked a little bit, Brendan. It's still in that range. I don't really like it until we get above 29, guys. Palantir still can't get out of its own way. 28 and change. Let's see if it breaks 29.
All right, guys, one more to talk about here as well. Ideanomics, IDEX up, just 15% now. Was a little bit higher in the pre-market. If you go to the daily chart, $3 the level here, $3 up to about 320, the level that you need to look at, which is way up here. So not really going to do anything with this until it gets up to 3, if it gets up to 3. Otherwise, positive, yes, it was EV news, more EV news for Ideanomics, IDEX, guys.
A good look there. Another one, small cap from the watch list. We talked about Ocugen here. It made a bit of a test of that 250 just now. I tried to catch it on the way down. I don't want to take that fill on the way up here. If it does want to go into the open, I'll probably back off and add anything. But 230 has definitely been a bit of support. So if it breaks that price, I don't know what this bid's doing here. I'm definitely going to take some shares out on that volume, hopefully down to like a 220, and $2 kind of still remains a nice little target for us here on OCGN. It's definitely been a good one. Brendan mentioned the news from last week, a sympathy play on ACY. The only other thing I could find was possible, there was absolutely nothing here other than a sympathy play, realistically. It is pushing back to the upside. I was all over this one short. When I see no news, I was all over just getting into it in front of that top at 8 even. It's been a fantastic trade. My last out was at 580 for just almost a $1.50 winner from the top. Overall, an average win of $1 on that last out. I still have a little bit I'll hang on to in case it dips down to $5. Either way, I'll only give that to 7 even. We have a lot of names that we're watching here today, and I just want to go back to C3AI, which did make the break of 167. So I talked about not wanting this one off of the open. Plug Power I will take and did just get. So 37.20 did break. I got Plug Power at 26 is on the long side. But C3AI, if I can get anything after the open playing off of this 167, if it dips even further, that might be a little bit better for me here. But it can't go too deep. I don't want to get caught in a negative move. But either way, I'm not going to take this trade until we open up. It's only 88,000 shares in the pre-market, and the spread still a little bit perilous.
Yeah, we're going to take Plug on a break as well very soon. Just got to break 30. We'll take that one. And then looking at my other list, we have, there we go, there's plug into plug right now on that break. So that's a good one. We'll wait to see higher. I'd take more shares now, but again, it's pre-market. So we'll see if it can dip back into 36.90 or so. But we do have plug on board right now, looking to get out of that one. And another name here that's about to go. I mean, we only have a minute left. But what about Apple through 134 right now? Apple up another 1.5%, 134.10, 134.15 as the high. I mean, you could take either one, but we're only a minute away. So you're going to get into this right off the open if you did like Apple. The market coming down a bit right now. So the only thing here, plug power goes into the money, obviously, as we're going. But we're going to look at the bottom here, maybe 36.50 or so. Give this one a little bit of room to breathe. But right now, plug power working for both of us. Long right now, plug. Let's see how high this one can go.
Yeah, only 30 seconds to go. I can't promise. We're having some issues with the animations, and so I apologize for that. I can't promise that countdown is going to work. We're going to try to trigger it. Fuel cell has not broken this 13.25, 13.30 area yet, but if that does happen, I am looking to get to this one off of the open. My order is sort of locked and loaded, ready to go on fuel cell as well. Plug already in the money, as we mentioned. We'll trigger it, and we'll see what happens. I know Randy's on the bell, but there it is. Yeah, countdown working just fine there, Rob. So let's get into it. It is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last week, that's what I'm talking about. This guy's not messing around at all. No, but last trading week of the year, certainly we want to get it started off with a bang. Looks like fuel cell trying to make a bit of a push to the upside. I'm watching a 13.30 break.
Yeah, okay, OCGN moving around. We did get into some NEO here. Is NEO open already? Yes, it is. It opens up no problem today. So we are long small at 46.73, just off that initial open to see how high it goes. It only went to 85. Now we'll try to play. It's very, very small. We'll just try to play it to see if we can't get anything on the downside right now. OCGN continuing to cash in, now near its lows. Let's see where we can get out. I have some bids here. There it is. Nice little cash there, 26. We'll see how far OCGN wants to go. But right now, we're 1 for 1 on that one. We wait for NEO and Plug to do something.
Yeah, buddy. OCGN looking absolutely fantastic. I just got some at 220, looking at 2 even as a level to watch. No movement on Southwest, so it doesn't look like we're going to get that break. I can tell you Plug went right up to my first target and then reversed on a dime. It's trying to hold 37, but I guess the retracement is in. The next level down, of course, we talked about 36.80 if it can hold that higher low from the morning. I'm looking to get in some on a dip here, but I'd rather see a consolidation. Fuel cell just made a break, so got into that long as well. Both those names we wanted off the open.
Okay, Alibaba actually coming way back now, which is nice. OCGN, a beautiful trade there. Can't make that any better, but we'll see if it keeps going. Alibaba now almost turning green here, it looks like. What is that, 220? Maybe this third day is not in the cards for Alibaba. Maybe it just goes the second day. Watch out for this 221 psychological level. Plug power continuing to go. 37.40, as high as 50. Let's see if it breaks through 50, and we'll take some more. But right now we got plug power on the mind, and OCGN making moves as well. Oh, no, Neil, we missed. I want to take Tesla off the open. We missed it.
Oh, you know what? You're dead right about that one. Tesla, always miss Tesla off the open. I don't know if they work, so I'm not going to hit them, and we'll go bang. Maybe I shouldn't bang the table. I just got some out in fuel cell, 13.45 in front of 13.50. I want to see 13.65 top, 13.70 top break as well. I think we're going to hang on to this one. If there's a dip into 13, maybe I'll reload, but I want to have fuel cell as long as I can here. Working in the money as well as plug power, but has to break 37.50, guys. Brendan, what's up?
Yeah, we were focusing on plug, guys, but remember this one as well, Blink. BLNK also up big time, 5.3%, just coming into pre-market support here, 51.80. There was initial buying at the open, but back to the downside for Blink as well.
All right, we're going to just take this out if we can here. NEO goes all the way to 46.85. That's twice. So we're going to watch out for that. We didn't get any long down there. Where are my bids, man? 46, yeah, 46.05. It only gets as low as 35. We still will watch that. So we're going to learn our lesson now and try to get some out there on the high side. Plug power, it drops below 36.75. We'll get out of that. We noticed that 50 just kept resisting. So we'll probably be out of that one for a little bit of a loser. And our BFT not doing anything. So we'll wait to see on that one, unless it's going to the high side, and I never got triggered in. No, 1650, still waiting to break here. BFT waiting to break, not doing much, which is actually surprising here. Plug power down the drain as that breaks, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hit the running out of power thing, but I don't know if it's going to work for you guys there. So I'm watching Nikola, and maybe we should have just played the squeeze a little bit tighter here at 14 or like something a little bit earlier, but 14.30 was a level going back into last week. If it makes a push here, obviously I like the break. I should be taking this rollover trade and then just reversing into a long, and it's like, how could I not look at this? 1430 was my first price. I'm not exactly bullish on the name to begin with, so I'm going to see if I can't get into something. You saw multiple orders there, but it's short sell restricted, so I couldn't actually hit the bid and wait for an uptick. I just got short Nikola. I'm still reversing into a long at 1430, but I got to try this short in front of it just because such an obvious push to the upside, maybe a little bit too far, too fast.
Yeah, I'm looking at the same thing here with NEO, and we just got into some more long, but we're really waiting here to see if 46 breaks. We're going to be out of that one. See if we get some more longs. What's up, Bren?
AAL, some of the travel names starting to pop up here. They took a minute, but starting to see some volume now. AAL 4%, just taking a pre-market highs here, guys. 1650, a big level for AAL.
All right.
Well, that didn't take very long. Immediately sort of reversed into that Nikola trade. I mean, I don't know that it actually touched that 1430. I see 32 as a top, so I am reversed into the long there. We still have a fuel cell, even though it pulled back as well. So you had plug pulling back in, fuel cell pulls back. I wanted to see if it would hold that 13, but this all happened entirely too fast off of the open to see if I couldn't have gotten like a 13.10, 13.15 on that little pullback. Either way, I'm still wanting to play off of this level, the secondary level if I can. I'm not buying 13.25s here. We anticipated 13.70 might be a bit of a top, and that has yet to break as well. I am going to go quickly back to this ACY. It did find a bit of a base off the open, but no trouble here. I just feel like if it does make another test of the low, $5 remains the final target. I'll be all flat if it gets there. Brendan?
A little Chinese name, Foonware, back to the upside today. Big time, 20% here. Just wanted to see what the high was there. From the pre-market, it was 138. So they announced actually at the end of last week that their mobile platform software now available on Google Play, guys, for Foonware.
Google Play, okay, yeah. Noticing a lot there with Google these days as well. NEO, we just picked up some 46.25s. We're going to give it down to 46 break. I mean, if 46 breaks, then obviously we'll be out of that one, but that is NEO right now. We got a nice little run here, so let's see if we can't make sure to capture some of this. 46.48, nice little upside move here on NEO. OCGN really still not doing much. We're still waiting on that one to come through, and we'll see if that one does, but OCGN already 225, 220 to the downside there, so that was a good play, but missed it, getting the ultimate out of 210. But I still believe in OCGN. You can still have a high side here of 260. We're going to hold the short until then, guys, but that's OCGN. We're trying to watch Bitcoin, but not really much is happening with GBTC. We've taken a couple of hits on it. To be honest with you, it's up 2 million shares and just hard to find liquidity right now on this name. So even though it's quite liquid, I still can't even seem to punch out of anything. So we'll wait on that one. And then NEO still making moves, man. There goes OCGN back to the downside, hopefully, and then NEO waiting for us to make a move through 46. We'll take one other little long down here, and then we'll drop it through 46. So negative on NEO today, guys.
Yeah, that 680 on Tesla held up just right off the open, 79.30 to be exact, actually. If it makes another push through, I like a 680 break eventually, but first things first, I think we're going to get a test of that 670. That was the price I liked on a pullback, but right at 930, you just have to be, that's got to be the stock that you're sitting waiting on to be able to catch that. But now that I see us pulling right back into this area, if I get any kind of a bounce or any kind of a bid that shows up 71, 72, I want this long off 670 here. Tesla pulling right back into this level. Market's exactly where it was before, so nothing crazy happening here. It is pulling back, but we're still just shy of that 1% to the upside. So hopefully Tesla can hold this 670 level.
Yeah, we're looking for Tesla to hold that. We're going to OCGN. We did slip up and get out of NEO, and not slip or not, we did get out of NEO there. So it does break our spot, and we try to stay disciplined a little bit and get out there on a 46 break, is now starting to go even lower and lower and lower. What's up, Bren?
One from the renewable fuels group, guys. GEVO, G-E-V-O, big move, 20% to the upside here, trying to take out these pre-market highs 450. If you remember, this one's had quite the run over the past 2, 3, 4, even 5 days on the daily chart. Another 21% here for GEVO this morning.
GEVO to the races. I want to go quickly, if I can, back into Nikola here. There was a reversal. I can't help myself. I see a rollover at a level that I like, and I try to attempt to short it. You see the double entry point. Got out of my short into the long here at 31, so no harm, no foul. Got the price long I wanted. I did scalp some out, of course, in front of that 1450 level, just because it's psychological. And then I mentioned here, if we get to this 70 from Friday, Thursday. We'll take some more out in front of that little hump and then see if we can't run it a little bit higher there, guys. ACY, my trailing stop just hit on that one, so I'll go over that trade. It's been a fantastic one all morning long, but when things slow down, certainly that's a better time to do it. Right now, working this Nikola trade to the upside. Fuel cell is pulling back in and still looking for a chance to get into Tesla. Might have missed the bottom again in front of 670.
Whoa. And yeah, it's looking like it's good. Okay, NEO, we got out there. Now it's ripping to the high side. We'll try it one more time, 46.40 break on NEO. If that does work, then we'll try that one. But we are back in this game looking to do some damage on that one. Unfortunately, our OCGN not doing anything. We can check out on Save. We talked about that earlier on as well. Straight to the downside. We're still waiting for 24. What's my bid here? Yeah, low 24s in change to see if we get any Save on board now. Alibaba, not really. I mean, it's moving, yes, but it goes to the high side, 220 there, drops back to 215. So I'm wondering if that's the base that we have now. So let's try to take some Alibaba maybe as a long now, see if it can get back going, especially if it breaks this 220. We will try a long here on Alibaba, see if the bottom's in on that name. 220 on Alibaba and then 940 on NEO if it goes.
Yeah, Nikola, there you go. 14, 61, 62. Look, 61 we just got out there, so that'll end up being like 30 cents. Not quite to that 1470 level that I would have liked, but you look at these levels, and obviously I'd rather get out in front of them if I expect some chop in that zone. I think if it makes another push, I'm going to be all flat at 15. Again, holding Nikola longs is not exactly my cup of tea, but we talked about the potential for a bit of a squeeze push to the upside. Only mistake was maybe not taking 14s and then waiting for the 1430. Either way, we'll take the win. That was certainly in the plans. Brendan, what's up, bud?
This one was halted in the pre-market, guys. If you remember, Foresight Autonomous, FRSX, they announced a big offering. Yep, no one cares. They bought it off of 450 right through 520 already, guys. Trying to get above these levels from back on Thursday for FRSX.
Forgot about that one. Oops. Yeah, Thursday's levels at 540 area, definitely eyeballs are on. Look, we talk about being well received. When you find that support off 460, that's exactly what we sort of mean by that. I'll be likely fading off of 540 if I can. It's just too obvious of a level from last week's action not to play with. Obviously, if it breaks through to the upside, you got to have a very, very tight stop there. If you give an extra 10 cents to 550, that's not exactly crazy. For me, it'll be right there at that 40 level. I want that price, and no other price is my stop if I'm going to get into that short. Brendan, again, what's up?
Anyone watching these crypto names this morning, both Riot and Mara higher? There is news actually on Marathon Patent Group. They purchased 70,000 new miners from Bitmain, I should say. So Mara, M-A-R-A, 28% today, guys. There is actually news behind that one.
Yeah, people loving everything to do with Bitcoin these days, that's for sure. OCGN trying to get some love. There is some bids there, so watch out for OCGN there. BFT not moving around. Palantir trying. Oh, yeah, remember we talked about taking Apple through 134? Yeah, that's at 135, so the 134 would have been great. Never would have gone against you. The only problem is, I guess you would have had to take it. Actually, no, you could have took that early and been okay. It does go to 133.60. That's, 40 cents to get this dollar. Well worth it from an Apple side of things there. Shoot, NEO comes in now. We do have that, but it does break the top. I'm saying that because we got out there. Like, look at all these averages in would be cash money, but now we got to give this to the upside now. We'll have to let this one run a little bit, see if we get to 46.68, but this is that break of 46.40 that we liked on NEO. Look, I haven't been great on this name yet, so we'll have to wait to see on that one. Plug Power dropping down as well, but NEO trying to go here.
And that just happened rather quickly. It feels like a minute ago that we're talking about maybe picking up some Tesla at 6 in front of 670, and literally like a couple of minutes later, 680 is breaking, or at least attempting to break here. I mean, it did get through, came right back to like a 679, 678 area, now trying to continue that little push. Now, the next psychological level is, it's not psychological, it's 695, and that was the actual close price when it did get that addition. Throw out that 670, I think we're now looking at this pre-market high at like a 676.50 area is the potential next support there on Tesla, so it continues to run. I'm not going to buy the dip just yet. I like to be patient with that. Brendan, what's up, bud?
Former big runner when it comes to the vaccine front. If you remember way back to March, April, May when we were first getting into the pandemic, this one, Bio-Nanogenomics, was a big mover, initial mover because of the COVID pandemic. But popping up this morning, the College of American Pathologists giving them credit for a new genome disorder treatment that they're working on, or a genetic disorder treatment that they're working on. So coming up to $1 here on huge volume for BNGO, guys.
Dingo was his name-o.
Yeah, that was that stock's name, that's for sure. We did get into Alibaba here as well, breaking through 220. It does go for us in the money a bit, and by a bit, I only mean 25 cents. So we are in the money now. We're going upside. We're going to give this one back to about, I don't know, where's the bottom of that last candle? This is a 1 minute chart, so we got to give this one back to 218 and change. There's a nice little 50-cent win. Yes, hot dogs. Let's go, Alibaba. Bring us back to life here a little bit. Alibaba, nice little win here. We're long at $219.99. So we got $1 in the money right now. Little late Santa Claus rally coming through. That's there it is. So some of the things are working, Neil. As Santa goes, I tested a bang earlier. That worked as well. So far so good.
Well, maybe
yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, no. There it is. Yes.
There it is.
Okay, we'll do a backflip there, and it was actually good timing because I just mentioned FRSX here off of that 540 level. I just quickly took that short there. I got a couple of legs in. Either way, it's going to be at 525, my average price. I just got some out on the south side of $5, so 30-cent win. Obviously, VWAP is going to be a target when I make a play like this. Unfortunately, Tesla not working too well. I did do that little dip in front of that 76 half. That we wanted to buy the dip in front of. VWAP also stands in our way. I just think if we retake 80s, the march is towards that 695. If you go back, of course, that was the close price, the actual closing print on the edition.
All right, we may have Baba here, guys. I'm getting really excited about this one. Still in the money, $1. It tries 221. Our best out there, 85. So we take an 85-cent win on it. And I just thought maybe 221 might have had some potential there, but apparently not. OCGN goes down. We get out again. They're at 216. We'll wait for that to fall one more time. My bids on that one, 214s. I don't know why, 214, but we'll wait there at 214. That one's good. BFT, we're into that one now. We got in earlier when, defending 25s. We talked about looking at 15s, 80. I'm going to look at this bottom, 16. So we're into BFT now. I'm going to also take a break on that one. I'm just talking about my positions that we have here. The only stock we've lost on today, well, we lost on some of the Bitcoin name, but here goes Neo again, right back to the bottom, guys. Watch out for this bottom break. Damn you, Neo, damn you. What's up, Bren?
Robbie, reading my mind already. Rensola, guys, you remember this one last week had a huge move from $6 up to 13.5, starting to bounce back again through this high from way back on Thursday. Remember, there was news last week they sold a bunch of projects over in Romania. So SOL, 13%.
I'm going to go quickly. I'll go back to Tesla in a second, but I got a bad wick there. I just jumped back into the trade, so my stop triggered when it shouldn't have, but I just jumped back in, pay about 50, 60 cents in worth of spread there. But either way, that's why it's going to be a change in the price. Either way, I was looking at that 80 break and then pull back to 76 half. OCGN is continuing to roll over. I'm sort of done taking shares in front of that 210 to 215 area. 2 even is the next target. Either gives me that or I'm going to be very, very disappointed. MYOV. This didn't quite test up to 31.50 like I wanted, but the rollover was on. So I kind of was right about how I wanted to approach this trade. It just never gave me the entry off the open tight enough to that pre-market high to get in. It is falling off. I mentioned 26 half. Might be some support over here in MYOV. Not there yet, but if it plays up to 30.31, I'll try to get the short that way. If it doesn't, I don't mind missing out on a trade if it didn't give me exactly what I was looking for. Nikola is continuing to push. I've already done a couple of legs scalping out of that one, so we're lining this one up and knocking it out. And then 15 is my next target to the upside. Again, I'm not trying to hold for anything crazier than that. This is just a simple squeeze play on Nikola after a multiple day fall, which was kind of big.
All right, well, one more try here on Neo, and just keep losing on it, so that's good. We tried to buy it again. We get out at the very bottom one more time, but Neo will try one more time. Like, one name working great. Baba, one Chinese name. Look at Baba. Bang, you want the big winner. There it is right there. Neil catching some big wins today on Nikola. Here's a nice one on Alibaba, 220, guys. This is in the money now, $2.50. We have a nice little long. We're out again, 20, 40, 60. We still got 40%. This name, big time running it right now. Alibaba, $3 plus in the money. Good trade on that one. BFT, guys, all the way up. Long here at 25s, out 39s. We'll take it out again at 42. We lost way too much money on Neo, but here we go. BFT working. We got to get through this. We're going to get some out again near 50. Maybe take some out now, but it's working for us. BFT in the money nicely now. And Baba, guys, $3+ now, 223.50. No idea where to go on this one. What was that high? 224.50. I think we got to take some out on this dog, but a good trade on Alibaba.
Don't have a key for it, but a revenge is a dish best served cold, and it is quite cold at times in this studio. I don't know. It's actually
now it's good.
It's getting warmer now, but it was worth a heck of a lot better 20 minutes ago. That line. Look, it's a good thing we didn't actually get that pre-market trade on C3AI. It's only going southbound here. It was a bit of a fail break. I talked about you got to wait till it opens up to be able to play it, and the break just doesn't look like very good. I'm going to be looking for 150. That was a fantastic level on the way down for support. Tesla is holding a couple of bucks in the money here, but I want higher than 680. I want to test to 685 and then 695. That's the nature of this game. Brendan, what's up, bud?
Still watching some of the airlines here, guys. AAL day highs just broke through 1640 on a decent volume spike. We look at UAL just now coming up to that 44.50, I should say. So day highs coming for UAL. So the group's starting to go once again for airlines, guys.
Yeah, and if they do go, I was looking at Southwest. Just make sure, I still have that order to go. If it breaks that top, I'm going to get into that name. I think it looks good to me on the setup anyways. I mean, you got to play something that you like on the setup space. I was going to go over GameStop, but I was going to be shorting pops in GameStop, and that has not happened today. If it gets back up to like a 2150, this one could give one of its little patented psych, we're going up today type moves. So I would hang on. I'm going to hold off on shorting that one into the strength of that 2150 area and possibly wait for a high of day if it can even get there. Seems like it's going to be a down day, at least for the time being, on that particular name. Mara, wow, already at 2,000. That's what I'm talking about. Thanks for the love, guys. And that's likes, of course. Mara, if it tests that 15 again, I'm going to be all over this level. It's kind of slowly creeping up there, but pre-market, it rejected it hard. Let's see if we can't get back to that price. Brendan?
Another one you can add to your crypto group. There's Mara, there's Riot, there's BTBT as well, which is Bit Digital, a Chinese company that is strictly a Bitcoin miner. So day highs here on a decent volume spike. $7 coming for BTBT, guys.
Bit Digital, okay. We're just continuing to crush it. We just took $4 there $3 on Alibaba. It's now $4 in the money. So we still have that 20% of this name, and what a big runner that is, bringing us back to life as hot dogs go flying everywhere. But the one problem, of course, is look at this again here on NEO. We're going to stay away from NEO today, one of our big losers. And again, as long as you still have this, you're fine, but you got to trade your own book. Like, I just take too many shares and then get wiped out. If we didn't have this one today, wow, we would be pretty big for today. Here goes BFT in 25s, out 50s. We'll wait to see if we can get higher. I still like a break through 70. I think we can get it. So we'll put some orders upside here, 60s, 50s, whatnot, to get out of BFT because it's a nice win. So we'll take that 4.25 now for Alibaba, still making new highs, up that 1%. It can go a hell of a lot more than that, guys. So let's not dump those shares. And then OCGN, almost, I mean, we're out of more than half, but this name just keeps going up. We had a bottom there at 217. Let's try to do some more work. I'm not going to hold all the way to the top here anymore. I don't know if that's going to come in. A lot of shares, 46 million shares done today on OCGN. We got to do better to find a way to get out of this one.
Yeah, I just feel like with the volume as good as it is on OCGN, I want to work into some more off of this VWAP 240 level. I haven't added back in. I just took a second hit on Tesla. It broke that 75 mark. It still feels strong enough for a third test, but 70 was level we really, really liked, so I guess I'm going to wait around for that. Or maybe a retake of 680. So inside of this range feels like it's a bit choppy. OCGN, I'll probably be looking at 35 to 40 for re-entry. I don't want it testing that 50 level and then jumping too heavily in front of that sword. IDEX is one that Brendan mentioned. It looks really, really good for a rollover right here, right now, off of VWAP. So I want to get into this one very, very quickly. And a 260 would be my stop. But right here, VWAP looks pretty good to me on IDEX.
And there it is, guys. I mean, line them up and march it down. BFT, like, I'm excited to go trade this in my own account, but I'm also excited for you guys right now. 1625 long, go again at 1670, out at 1680. We're just making new highs on BFT, and this one just keeps on going. So congratulations, everybody. If you feel like me and you have these shares, man, buy yourself something nice. BFT, big time mover for you guys. I'm going to just hit up my friends in chat here because they're all going crazy as well. I put a couple of my good friends on this name as well. So they're really liking that one, up 10+%. Another name that I got people on was STIC. And yes, on STIC as well, up to 1850 today. It doesn't look like it's moving that much, but we get to 19 and change. I'm excited because we're long 12 on this one. Alibaba coming back down a little bit here. This is a 1-minute chart. Where do we give this one to? Maybe 22.25 here or so, Alibaba. But there we go. We're out of OCGN. I'm going to keep my profits on this name and just get out. I don't know if it's going to be the right call or not, but we're just going to get out right where we got in our last spot. Let's see if that continues to do anything. But BFT right now slowing down there at 17. So I'm going to probably get out of the rest and then see what happens. But a big win, guys. BFT.
Yeah, IDX, I'm literally chasing this thing down. I got some shares here, but barely anything at 51. I'm chasing at 50s. Right when I said I liked it, I tried to get in almost instantaneously. You can see it already start to go down. There's only so far I'm willing to go before we have to give up and see it pull back in. Somebody actually cancel these like 49s. I'm looking for the turn here in OCGN. I did scalp a bunch out at the bottom, and I do have a small amount left. It is about to test that 250, but I'm not jumping in front of a level. I need to see it turn. The second I see it make any kind of a slowdown or consolidation or big order, maybe steps up at 250, then I'll jump into shares and then use that as a bit of a stop. Just giving you guys a level 2 look here. You can look at that 50 level if I can. It's really not a heck of a lot of shares, a couple 100,000, which really isn't a lot on this stock when it's doing 51 million. So it's not about the size on level 2. It's really just about this level here in the pre-market and then a test. If it rolls over, which it looks like it's doing here, gonna look to see if I can't get some shares off this consolidation. Brendan?
Another clean energy name. We were talking about SOL. There was a couple other ones moving around. Here's another one for you. Sunwing, or Sun W, I should say. Not Sunwing, but Sun W, just breaking through 540 there on a huge volume spike. So day highs, almost 11% here. We're trying to clear these levels on the daily chart for Sun W as well, guys.
All right, Sun W. That reminds me of Sun Microsystems. That used to be the old symbol there, and we used to trade that one a lot. Okay, BFT, we did dump some as it doesn't look like it wants to go, so we're just working on that. And then we have Alibaba, just to give you guys an idea where our out's going to be. It's going to be on this break, so 222, a little lower than that to the downside there. We'll get out if it does break. We had a couple tests before. I don't know if this wick actually happened down to 221. I'm going to say no, but if we do break this 222, we'll just give it a little more room to break before we get out of that one. But a good day for us on that stock for sure. And sorry about anyone that was asking about Fubo there, Fubu. Yeah, for us, by us. I don't know what happened to that brand. That was a big one at one point there.
That's a great question.
Okay, a 38 and change down to the downside, and this is what we talked about. I was nervous about it getting going, and it doesn't look like it did. I said we had to at least test back up to these levels, 42, 43. We tried, Matt doesn't really want to go, and then the breaking spot on this one will be 37. So watch out if you're into Fubo as we go. We talked about Palantir as well. Yeah, Neil, you have some. I probably have some.
I make more of those
some, like,
mistakes
track
than you.
pants at one point.
I know I did have some Fubu track pants. I just don't know where the heck they are. And I'll make that same mistake. It is what it is. I wanted to be looking at Win today. Just it hasn't made too much of a move to the upside, so I'm not showing a lot of strength. I'm looking at 116.50 for potential break. But when the first move is down like this, a name like Win for a couple of bucks, I'll probably look to see if you can't bottom pick it a little bit later on. Tesla moving down to that 670. That's the level I would give a shot if it tests again. I did finally get into Ideanomics, but it's already pressing back to the upside. This is why I didn't want to chase it. This is where I wanted to get short. I could have already scalped out 5 to 10 cents. But either way, now I'm looking for that 260 test. Reloaded on OCGN, got 42s, but I'm hanging off and adding more shares because 250 is the current level that we're watching. I still have room to add twice as many as we already took, and 250 is going to be a bit of a hard stop. Nikola might have got out too soon on Nikola, but I did mention I only wanted the squeeze, and I didn't want to be holding it too long here. 15 is gone. 1530 consolidation now. I just want to quickly go into the 15-minute chart here. Look at this top, and this is why I wanted to already be out, because this is where I want to be shorting it off of, a 1530 to a 1550 level. So if it breaks through there, fair enough. You got me, and I should have hung on to the long, but I'm looking to short those levels. Nikola obviously has been weak. But it's a squeeze today.
I miss Nikola.
2 days in a row. After the second day of moving up, Nikola has this tendency to squeeze if it makes any kind of a base. That's what's happening here. But I'm now playing the shorts, guys.
Yeah, I wrote down here, you guys like to look at this list, but I already talked about this 14.25 on the squeeze of Nikola. If you rewind, this is why we want you guys to join us every day if you can, at 8:30 when we start, because we did talk about all of these names, man, BFT, Nikola, everything that we're on. We even talked about BABA, and I said that, would I get burned going long again? No, not getting burned, but yes, going long through 220. That's right where VWAP is right now. I'm still going to give it on a 221 break. We get a lot of emails. Oh, and thank you for everybody loving my Christmas tweet. Let me show the picture that we took. Again, it's my largest one, my largest liked photo, I guess, here. 254 likes. I thought we all looked pretty good besides me here. Everybody looked good. Someone called Robbie low-key. So there you go, Neil. So there's a little bit of attention to that. And I was always wondering, Rob, where's my other leg here? Like I only have one leg right there, but Neil looking sharp, Miss V looking sharp as well. But there it is. Join us on Twitter. That was a big popular picture. So thank you so much. And Neil, I don't know if you think Robbie looks like Loki or not. You're the resident guy for Avengers and whatnot around here.
It's because with the mask on, that's what completes the look there. Accidental Loki look. I love it. And look, if anyone that followed along, he's a bit of a trickster as well on the show. So our production crew has a lot of fun. It's not just Randy messing around with us. Rob will do it as well. I did get into this Nikola just now, but I want to be adding to this position if I can. I wanted a price a little closer to that 1540 top, so if I can get teens to 20s to get the rest of this, I'll definitely do that. OCGN started to come off a little bit here off that 250. 42s is my price. That's my lucky number, so very happy with that short, at least for now. Anything can change in the future. IDEX is starting to make a push towards 260. That one might actually break on me. First trade there could be a loser. It'll be the first short that doesn't work out for me. If it doesn't, IDEX. But Nikola's the one that I think I'm going to be loving possibly the most. So let's see if I don't throw all of my long profits away with my bias to the downside on Nikola here.
Oh, you won't. Okay, BFT, we did dump some because it didn't go. I guess the next break is 17 on BFT that we'll try. So we will try BFT 17 long. Alibaba still holding up upside. So I also wrote down AMD, and it's going to kill me because this one probably breaking. Nah, not really. Okay, good. AMD not destroying me today. The only big trade that we've had that we've really screwed up was NEO, and I kept trying to catch these bottoms. We said that it would fall down, but every single bottom to me today was not the bottom. And so NEO continues to go down. Is that another one, Brendan? Or happening now over at the big screen with Brendan.
Hey guys, 10 o'clock already. Let's have a look at North American markets. Nicely positive to start the, again, holiday shortened week. S&P 0.7% to the upside. Same story for the Dow. NASDAQ exactly the same, 0.7%. Both the 100 and the composite. This is all-time high territory, worth mentioning, for the Russell this morning, 0.6% to the upside in all-time high territory. The TSX here in Toronto, 0.2%. Down in Brazil, they're up about 0.5% to start the new week. Nice move down there. Plug Power, a couple things from the watch list, guys, to keep in mind. Came into big time level here. This is 36, where we kind of stalled out on the way up on Thursday. So keep that in mind for possible support there for Plug Power after a bit of a flush off of the open. Speaking of a bit of a flush, C3AI, wow. 168 to 153 in a straight line, guys, right from the word go this morning. Very weak for the first time, worth mentioning, for C3AI. On the other hand, this one, not so much. Not on the watch list, but Airbnb holding up nicely. Had a nice push to 163, trying to get back to day highs for Airbnb, guys. Back to you.
Thank you there, Brendan. FRSX here making a second push into that 540 area. I liked it once. The first time you saw scalping into VWAP for like 30 cents or so. I'm going to try it again here. And of course, it's basically off the same level. Even though it's putting in a higher low, I was able to get the mid-20s. Actually, a little bit better than this last time. But it's basically the same price. If it holds this level, this 530, definitely going to be good. But keep in mind, 540 was that top that I was watching, so it could actually break through this high, and I still wouldn't necessarily get out right away. I'd be looking 10 cents higher than that to that 540 level on FRSX. That's the only reason. If you see it break through that double top, I'm going to hold off for another 10 pennies or so before I get out.
Okay, we're just looking right now. Also, BFT trying to go right here, guys. Alibaba does come out. So there it is. We're going to hit a big one for that. This was a big trade. So we'll go We'll go bang for that one, as you guys like that name, or sorry, that graphic there. It's nice to see the graphics working again. So hallelujah. Thank you to Rob and Lucas and Randy for getting that going. I don't know how they did, but thank you so much for that. And okay, Alibaba's out, so we won't focus on that too much. BFT looked like it was going to go, and it didn't. It stopped again at 85. So I'm thinking right now, let's get some orders out. We're still long at 72. So if we can capture some profits like 82, 83, I think that's decent. I have an order to go long if we do break back above 17. I'd love to get back into some NEO, but again, it's my largest stock today on the losing side of things. And again, I don't really see much, but I do see VWAP chilling out here, and that's making me a little excited, but we need to get higher than that, in my opinion. I can't just keep buying these levels. I'd like to see it back here, 46.25. If it can get there, maybe we'll buy some of that. I don't know. Check out on Spirit Airlines. That's way off. We put a bid down here. We said we want to go lower on the bids. Didn't hit that. And then CCL was another one. What's up to Daryl there? Daryl Flinch on our chat talked about CCL. They're not getting any extra money. So up 3.5%, probably a lot for these guys. But CCL still looking at going. FCell, Mara, Apple, wow, Apple, Neil, we talked about that one going long also on Apple in the pre-market at 134 level. You're now going higher. All-time highs for Apple, about to come, I guess, 137.98. So we'll watch out for that. Apple, $2 away from all-time highs.
We're going to go Superman on OCGN. And again, it's just, you find these levels and it's just going to work out for us. Consolidation off of that 50, jump back into some shares, mid-40s, 45, 46 technically is my average price, 45.7. I just got some out as it's testing VWAP. You can see my orders here, these little turquoise lines. I want to get a bunch out in front of that 225. I think if it breaks there, your next stop is maybe testing again towards that 2 even. But you got to scalp on this trade. Take those scalp wins if you can be an active trader on it, because the volume is fantastic and it tightens up the range at times. You want to make sure, even if you like a direction, you're profiting while it trades the range for you. Nicola in the money here, but only about 15 pennies or so. I want more than that for this short. Brendan, what's up? Another
one from the Clean Energy Group, guys. Lithium America. This was kind of the original that went first when this group started getting popular. LAC, remember, 10% again today. Had a decent week last week as well, coming from $9 all the way up to $13.50 today for LAC.
Yeah, I remember LAC, that's for sure. People asking about SNDL, we can look at that as well. We don't have any crypto, so people asking about Litecoin and ETH and all that. Look, we'll trade it when we get it, but right now we do not have it. SNDL, of course, is Weed Batman. Time, we'll see about that. You guys know all about Sundial. Where is it? There it is. There's Weed Batman. We keep talking about it, but this is NQ, of course. 48 cents, 41 million. I think that's why a lot of you like to trade this, but only 1.4% right now, not doing much. Man, we could check out APHA. Obviously, Afria tied right now with Tilray, and they're not doing too much. And then a check back over at Tilray. Just checking out some marijuana plays today to see if anything's going on. I guess Tilray is probably the one that will move rather than Afria. And again, 0.93. So right now, a little sleepy in weed smoking land. Maybe everyone's still recuperating from the weekends.
Possibly a little holiday action. This MVIS here up 10%, making a bit of a run to. Look, this pulled back last week if you guys were trading it, and certainly we had a look at this off that 10 level. Either way, if you get anything in towards the 725 to 735, I think that could be a potential rollover there. I'm not going to be chasing into this one just yet. We have a couple of shorts on that I probably like a little bit better. From MVIS to MYOV, this is continuing its push back in. Now, I did like it off of 31. Obviously, I'm not going to get that trade again. But now I'm looking at this 28.50 into 28 area. If it breaks this to the downside, I think we can get a push into 26.50 where I thought support would be. So a scalp trade certainly on a breakdown available for me on MYOV, even if I can't get the short off the top. We'll look for that 28 even break on MYOV. Go ahead, throw that order in. Thank you. Finally, we'll line up Nicola and knock that one dead as the first leg is out in front of 14.75. So that first quarter, the next one, 14.50 if you haven't guessed. To the short side, if it goes, I'll be very, very pleased. We'll get it both directions here in Nicola. Brendan.
Immersion Corporation, guys, just checking on this one, not seeing anything at first glance, but big move here, 10.5% on its way back in, just broke $10 downside on a volume spike after big move up in the pre-market. So IMMR coming back in, guys.
I just mentioned Nicola, and you never want to look a gift horse in the mouth. That's why I get some shares out. in front of VWAP. The next level, of course, on the way up here, I took some shares out in front of 1450. Sorry, on the north side of 1450. That's exactly where my next stop is going to be. And then from there, 25s. And if we can hang on for a retrace all the way to 14 even, I'll be very pleased with that. Certainly, I'm bearish on the name in general, but it squeezes. You get squeezes on day 2 or 3 if it makes any kind of a bottom, which is exactly what happened. You got a double bottom here. Of course, on Thursday, and then now this pre-market, this 1375 holding. Probably should have had a 14 break instead of 1430, but it is what it is. A winner is a winner. You can't hate on a winning trade. You can just look to maybe improve on it the next time. And I think being willing to take a little bit deeper into the pre-market move is the way to correct that the next time we see this setup.
Yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with looking back and like saying, you know what did I do wrong here? Why did I get out? Where did I get out? And whatnot. And if you're looking for some names to trade, make sure that you join us and grab our morning movers list, guys. It's absolutely free. It comes, what time did I get it today? 8:16. So that's pretty late. Normally it's like 8:05, but 8:16 today, pretty good. So hopefully you guys can get that with us and join the fun. It's a lot of fun on the show early. So if you can join us at 8:30, we do that. And then of course today, guys, we do have coming up, if I can find it, there it is. I hope it's coming up number 1. That makes the most sense, and it's not, of course, because that would make too much sense. What about 2? No, I don't know. Someone tell me what it is. There it is, 3 right now. Coming up number 3 today, Q&A, guys, with Mark Roberts. So that'll be right after the show. All members get this, Neil, so we're obviously really super excited about that. But that is coming up after the show. Still on Tilray, not much happening here. Watching BFT, and we're going to get back into some Neo, I have a feeling. What's up, Brent?
Another one to the downside here, guys. Big mover downside, Apre Therapeutics. They have a blood cancer treatment that failed in a late stage trial. So yeah, 76% downside, just breaking back below $6 even on huge volume for this one, guys.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a volume mover. I see, just going to quickly go over to Palantir here because down only 4%. And it's not a gigantic number given some of the gains that it's had. If you look at the daily chart, I mean, that 25 level is definitely an interesting one. If it extends this move, just showing the 15 because I like this look a little bit better. If it extends this move, it gets anywhere sort of close to that 25 to 25.50. That's going to be a place to look for some consolidation and pick some shares up. Running into a bit of support, or resistance to the short, so support on Nikola at that 14.75 mark. So I'm not taking anything off just yet, but I'm going to hold off on reloading until it pushes a little bit higher. But Palantir now on my actual radar on a bit of a dip here. Sundial, I kind of wish I was looking at it this morning, but I wasn't. C3 AI I was looking at, and here it comes, 150. Now, there wasn't any support or any kind of a bid that I saw at 150, so I'm not going to jump in front of this sword. Liquidity is always a bit of a concern with C3 AI, but if it comes back up, and I do see a bit off this 150 level, which I don't yet, going to be worth a bit of a long off of this. This is a healthy pullback, $20 or so, and of course, it's worth noting what this thing did on the way up. But if it can hold this area here, very likely you get a $10 retrace. But if it does break, not a heck of a lot, so you get like $10, $15 lower than this, where I'd expect some support at 135. Brendan.
Just saw this XL Fleet. If you remember, we mentioned this one last week. Guys, started trading under its own symbol after that pivotal investment SPAC merger. So XL Fleet, 4% again today. Tight little consolidation around 31 for XL, guys.
Okay, I just wanted to also bring up, guys, okay, what's going on with Piton here, 156, a nice little break to the downside, 156 happening on Peloton. We can wait to see what if it does take that out, but we're down that 3.5%. Some steam coming out. Neil talked about some of these names getting overextended a little bit, and I mean, Peloton the last couple of days, it was Palantir, about it being down 4%. Same name here, Peloton, going down as well. So some of these names that have been a little inflated lately, we're still long Peloton in the teens, so it's okay. But I do want to go short if it does break through this 156. We have a lot of, gathering upside here, consolidation we call it, 159.50 down to 157.50. Once that broke, we tanked down $1.50. So kind of wondering if the same thing may happen again. I don't know if I want to take Peloton to the long side. Mark talked about being bullish this week, but so far today, the market appears to be coming downside. We still are up, and it's okay, but the NASDAQ moving down more right now than the S&P. So Palantir moving. I'm not sure what position you had in that, Neil, but right now,
No position on it. Just
okay.
I'm looking to look. I like that 25 to 25.50. I mean, if you get any consolidation there or any kind of a bottom or any kind of a bid that shows up, I want to be playing it off of that weakness. But it has to slow down first. It's only 10.10. We got a full day trade here. And certainly you can see the trend to the downside on some of these names. I'm actually a little bit surprised that there wasn't anything on C3i at 150, but then I had a secondary look, and it's look, anytime you're a little bit surprised by a lack of a bid or maybe the support not being where you thought it would be, I went back to this chart and I looked at the last time it actually tested 150 specifically and didn't bounce, on a crazy wick in front of it, and you get this break all the way into this 147 level, which resistance on the way up, breakout, pullback, dip price. So it kind of feels like there's some room down here, and it's a 47 to 150 level that actually has to hold. So second look, let's see if it tests that 47 and bounces back off of that specifically a second time. And if it holds that again, then I like that 150 a heck of a lot more. Nicola on the way back up. I'm going to take another shot at it here, but I'm waiting for like maybe 15s to 25s to go back into this short. I still actually have some from the top. But I want to see if it can't go sideways in this area before I would jump into some more shares. This is a clean uptrend that just bounced off VWAP, so got to be patient with any kind of a rollover.
Yeah, we're just watching some of these things go pretty crazy here. GBTC here on Bitcoin. I don't know what exactly it's doing, but it's doing a lot of volume. I just can't trade it today. I need to focus too much on that one. Peloton to the downside though. That looks like it wants to go. So there it is. We take the break. We have it 155.91. So a good little break here on Peloton. Now in the money 50 cents. We'll wait to see what kind of damage we can do on Peloton, but 50 cents is pretty nice. We'll take it. We're not taking it out. I don't know where the downside is going to be. We've kind of motored to these levels. So if we look at a daily chart, maybe we can find something on Peloton on a daily chart. What is this level? 140. The problem is we gap from 146 to 160. So we could fill this gap. I don't think we do it today, but we are holding this Peloton short right now. We might take a leg off for $1 and then see what happens on the downside here on Peloton. So let's take a little bit off just before 155 and then see what happens downside. But this name Peloton, it could be a good one. I have it. We're in the money now 40 cents. Let's put a bid, like I said, 150. See, we'll capture $1, then hold half for a bigger move. Here it comes, a nice little one. Hopefully we got this one on this. Money coming in. Maybe you can pay for your Peloton bike. Not with a $1 winner. We need like a $30 winner to pay for that one, guys.
Brennan, I think?
Yeah, another one, guys, showing a lot of weakness this morning. DraftKings, straight downside 3%. We were actually positive in the pre-market, but straight to the downside for DraftKings. There were a couple of actually price target increases on DraftKings, but weakness on volume as well, guys.
DraftKings to the downside. This is going to be an interesting one to pick up a little bit later on as well. I talked about Ideanomics a little bit here off that 260 area. Talk about being a decent level here. I actually got shares and I waited on the way up. I took some on the way down and said, let's not chase it too far. I waited till right here to add to that position to get my average price to 55 right in the middle. Now we're testing 240. Now I want to have still shares on at least a third of my position if it breaks 240 into the pre-market low and last week's close, 227. So that 2/4 is going to be the mark that I'm looking for, like a 10% type of move on Ideanomics. We're already taking some out. But you don't want to look that gift horse in the mouth. And we got some gifts over the last few days, and certainly, hopefully, the trading day will be one. I'll tell you what has not been. I didn't want Fubo. What has not been a gift for me today is Tesla. It's like the day that I don't want to go short Tesla or take a shot at shorting it. Both longs not working out, but I didn't want to be stubborn with it. Good idea, because if I had been, I'd still be hanging on to losers long in Tesla. It's already broken that 2670. It could not hold that level. That's what I wanted to see, consolidation and a push to the upside. It did it once, but the second time, no chance. And if we get back down here into the 665 area, certainly where the move started this morning, probably worth another test. I'll try to wait for that level as the market is starting to come back in. I mean, the ES is holding up strong, but if you look over at the NASDAQ, it just tested the morning's bottoms here at 12.7660. If that cannot hold, certainly some of these names could test their lows. Tesla's not there yet, but overall, the NASDAQ and most of tech is.
Yeah, exactly. What's up to my parents? I think are at home watching this. So yes, what's up? Hopefully, what happened to Peloton? There it is. Okay, so a nice little win there on Peloton. We'll take that. What's up to my parents? We already said that. We'll take out the big stick a little bit as they brought me luck. My mom just said I was doing a good job. I said, not really. And then Peloton right now coming to the downside. So that's a nice little win. 156 in, 155 out. Now we'll hold the rest for half, or we'll hold half for a bigger move as we turn the day around right now. So it's been a good day so far. Not great, but decent. We did miss that Tesla move, and the one stock that we've been getting plugged on, we lost on plug. But also Neo right here. Just look at this. That's why you got to stay disciplined and dump this, man. Some of these high flyers like DraftKings, Neo, XPeng, all these names that have been flying, moving to the downside. Give it to us, Bren.
Another one to look at, guys. Bridgetown Holdings, the SPAC of the day award possibly going to Bridgetown Holdings. They secured a whole bunch of new funding to go forward. Their plan is to find something in China specifically. They're looking in the Asian markets for something to merge with. So BTWN, big runner today, 15% now on huge volume, coming up to $19, guys.
Oh,
Speaking
man.
of huge volume, thank goodness we had a trailing stop on ACY. I mean, this was almost all a pre-market trade for me. You're going to see it near the top of my list. Actually, it's depending on what happens in OCGN here, probably going to be, it could end up being my top stock of the day. But there was a break through the high, sorry, the pre-market top at 790. I mean, this is a sympathy play from last week and no new news today. But it's a halted upside volatility anyways. I will not be jumping into this unless if it opens up under $8 and then sort of immediately comes right back in, I would play off of this current high at 818. Otherwise, I'm looking to see if it doesn't make more parabolic moves to the upside. Instead of jumping in front of the train on the way up, I will look for the first reopen on weakness. If the first one is below 8, fair enough. I'm not even anticipating that's going to be the case, but I do like that one, and I'm going to probably be playing it at some point today. I want to jump over to AstraZeneca if I can. And we talked about this. This was on the watch list. You guys can go ahead and read that if you get a bit of a shot. But the rollover trade was already there. It's now bouncing off of like a 49.5 bottom, trying to get to this VWAP, and $50 is a good psychological level as well. I want to see if we can't play off of this. If it does make a bit of a break here, you can already look at Wednesday's action. Beginning of the week, last week's action. $50 was resistance all week long. If it breaks through that, I like the ability to scalp it into like a 50-50 area, but it's only a scalp trade. AstraZeneca, I don't expect to move $1 or $2 or anything like that. Those moves have already come in. But if you can get a quick little break at 50, pay to like 1, 2, or 3, and try to get some out in front of those quarters and those 50s, that's a move that I can actually get on board with. So it's a couple of pennies away, but I'm looking at AstraZeneca 5-0.
Yeah, we're trying to celebrate another big one, man. We already have a $4 winner, or $3 winner, sorry, on BABA. And here's another $3 winner right now as we speak on Peloton. So we're short 156. It's at 152, 153. We said we'd look at this. Let's see what happens at 150 maybe. There is really no moves for me to judge this on. We could just kind of watch VWAP keep changing. I don't really have an out on this one. $3 in the money is a good one. So we will run the money, run the gauntlet on this name. Look at Alibaba. Like, we could hit perfect. Obviously, it's not going to be a perfect out. The best out would have been 224. But this 220 bid now would be crushed. So that's why we got to get out a little bit as we go. But that's 20, 40, 60, 80% out. And then our last little bit on that 222 break. So we captured $2 there clean as well. So Alibaba almost actually is my biggest stock of the day so far. So Alibaba, a nice one. Peloton trying to take that over as it continues to make moves. I may just get out of this one, 153.50 break. But right now, Brendan at the big screen, small cap recap.
Hey guys, yeah, small cap time. Let's have a look at a few that we were talking about in the pre-market. AQMS, the first one here, popping up on the daily chart, back to this 350 area. If you go way back to beginning of this year, it was around 350, 380. Ended up being an area on this AQMS, still 33%. There's a seller up here at 350, was there in the pre-market, came back up, tested that, gave you a really nice opportunity to get back in. I was busy doing other things, but all the way back down to $3 here. So looks like 3 to 350, a bit of a range forming for AQMS. Still doing decent volume though for that one. Good one to watch. OCGN, the guys were talking about this. We came back into about $2.05 to $2. There was obvious buying down there. Big buyers stepping up, taking out offers. So good out anywhere between 210 to 220 even. After that move down from 250 in the pre-market, but 250, 260 above that. Looks like it's going to roll over as we speak for OCGN. This one we mentioned as well, GRNQ on some Bitcoin related news this morning. Really like this one around that $3 area. Sadly, hard to get locates on GRNQ so far today. Guys, back to you.
Not hard to get locates on Nikola. And look, we like this one to the short side. We've sort of beaten it to death. Obviously, there was a bit of a break. I think you almost had to take that in terms of a long trade just on pure momentum. But the rollover, usually I want something closer to the top, but I didn't care. I actually chased it a little bit. I missed the reload. I talked about waiting for teens to 20s when it started testing off VWAP here. Obviously, that was wrong, guys. I should have reloaded right at 15, the initial price, instead of trying to be greedy and get a better price on the short. It's broken VWAP. I got some out in front of 14.50 like I said I would, and then we're going to see if we can't hold all the way to 14 even. If it does make another test at 15, I'll look for a shot to get back in, but no promises there. OCGN has been absolutely fantastic, but Brendan just went over that one. IDeonomics, on the other hand, I mentioned we could run into some trouble at 240. That's exactly where support looks like it is going to be. So I've taken, a bunch of shares out here on the way in front of it. If it breaks, great. 227 was Friday's close. We'll look to play off of that. C3 AI cannot seem to yet find a bit of a bottom. And I say yet because remember that 147.50 we're looking at? Yeah, it tries to hold once, fail, and then 145 even. So it's right in this sort of target area. C3 AI tends to go a couple of bucks past every single level. I'm just looking for the first one to hold before I get into anything to the long side. And currently that would be this 147.50 area. So if we get any kind of a push up, consolidation another a few minutes or so, then I'd look to see if we can't catch a break off of the low of the day. It's the only long I'm sort of scouting right now. And that ACY, now remember what I said, if that could actually hold below, yeah, that didn't really happen. I can tell you the liquidity here is interesting, especially on the offer, meaning that there isn't much. That's why I'm not stepping in front of this train. It is going to have to give me a big-time move to the downside or just a heck of a lot more weakness on a reopen than I just saw on ACY for me to go short this name. And I really don't like the longs when they go this crazy to the upside. Brendan, what's up?
Yeah, you remember this, we were talking about this AirT as well. I just noticed that ACY, guys. So you come over to AirT. Remember last Thursday we had this halt fest on the way up. But this one did eventually fade back down as well. Again today, 42%. About to make a day low here for this AirT. So ACY, definitely the one getting the attention so far, guys.
Well, it makes me want to short this now even more, Brendan. Oh, you're killing me. So anyways, it looks like it's kind of weak here, but I'm going to try and stay away from it, at least for the time being here. I want to quickly go back to Alibaba just because I missed it, and at least Sean got revenge on Alibaba. I mean, I bungled that one all Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. Trying to find those bottoms. It is coming back in towards that 220. Look, if it retests the absolute low, I think maybe it's going to be worth a bit of a shot here. But the real setup for me is if we get another push into 225, it's a psychological level. It's already been beaten up. The news is kind of negative. I might actually be looking to fade off at 225, put in a lower high, bounce off VWAP here. I'd be looking at like 223.50 or so to see if I can't grab a short off what clearly was a decent level, 225. I just wasn't looking to short a pop. Otherwise, I'd have normally been all over this. It was Nicola that I thought would be the better play, and I almost think the short on Baba there is better than the one on Nicola.
I like that Baba short.
Almost.
Just the problem is retracing, obviously, just like Peloton is doing as well. I was going to give this one back to 155, to be honest with you, but 154.20, 154.50 maybe is the right play on that. I did want to look at Palantir. I know Neil talked about it, but I have some levels now as well. So Palantir, wow, the move is going to the downside. Look, we talked about this early, and people asked, like, why aren't we trading Palantir? Come on, charts. First of all, we got to trade it when the charts load. Second of all, look at this drop. I said earlier this morning that we were stuck in a range. I don't like this name at 28. It needs to go somewhere. And I don't know if it's going to go up or down, but I was looking at these levels right now. Let's call up like a 10-minute chart, I think. Hopefully this loads. Still doesn't go back far enough, I guess, on a 10-minute chart. But if we go to a daily chart quickly here, you'll see what we're talking about with Palantir. These bottoms, like right here, I think can still hold 25.50, 25. So what we're going to try to do is go long 25.50 and then again ahead of 25. The ultimate bottom is this 24.65, but we've wicked down to 25.07 a couple times. So if this continues to drop, we will average into Palantir, and it'll be on this downside like 25.70, 25.60, something like that in the downside here of PLTR. So that's where I have my bid. To give you exactly, 25.60 is where we're bidding. So if we drop down to that, we'll take it and we'll see what we can do. But Peloton, so the back-to-back Ps, let's close that one. Here's Peloton coming. This is a 10-minute chart. Again, we're short. It's giving it up today. It gave up the all-time high on Friday, which was Thursday, and now we're heading to the downside. So this is just a one-day chart here on Peloton. I don't know how far we can go. We're short right now, 156, $3 in the money. It does touch down as low as 152, so we're getting close to being all-time days high on this one. I got a bid at 151 and change, guys. So if it tips down to there, we'll take a $5 winner and move on from there. Baba retracing nicely.
Yeah, I mean, some of those shorts are just absolutely fantastic on that pullback. And again, it's just about the momentum, right? So I know, Sean, you like Peloton, but it doesn't mean for a day trade you can't go the other way. The only difference, I mean, I was looking at that 25.50s. Well, I don't have a position yet, and maybe I should have because it did touch 25.80s. But I was just looking at this right here, this consolidation. This is 26.05, which is a random level, which was just holding and then just broke. And I'm going to start, actually, if I can, and of course, as I say it, I can't get any shares, building into a position on this little break I was trying to get at. I still like 25.50 as a low, but it already gave you this consolidation, hold, and then push to the upside. I can't wait for the absolute perfect entry point. Just going to take it right here, right now. If I can add to it, fantastic. But I'm not sure it's going to give me that opportunity on Palantir in front of 26 now. Brendan?
Another SPAC doing volume so far this morning, guys. Apex Technology Acquisition Corporation, ISB AvePoint, going public in a $2 billion deal. This was announced going back about a month ago. This is a Microsoft-based big data software platform. So AvePoint, ISB AvePoint, huge volume spike here on the downside. There's no news that I can see, but we did get to all-time highs above that high early on this morning. So coming in a little bit for APXT, guys.
Of course, as I was saying and trying to get shares on that 26.05 break, I end up getting 9s, but I don't even get all the shares I want. I'm actually even chasing it up here a little bit on Palantir. Of course, it's probably going to go back to 27 now, and I'll be sitting here missing it. So I'm looking at if it consolidates off 26.25 in the quarters. I'll probably get into more. If it dips even a little bit, I'm also going to get in that way. We haven't talked too much about Fubo, but it is again testing the low. If it breaks 37 even. Just sort of worth looking. You go back to the daily chart here. There is some room. If it breaks that, you're looking at that 35. I know someone asked long term about Fubo, and you were saying, Sean, 37, certainly a level. Maybe you should get out if you're still holding it. 37 is coming rather rapidly. Just bounced now, but it's definitely testing it again.
Okay, good. So I'm glad I'm right about something at least. Here's Palantir. Look, we're green today, so it's fine. I just pissed off about NEO, to be honest with you. We did take some Palantir there off of a 26. It just looks like it wanted to hold that bottom. I know we talked about getting longer down here. I just missed that. My order was at 25.61, so I don't want to miss it now. So we're long at 18. So yes, sir, a nice little 17, 18, 19 penny winner now on Palantir, 20 cents actually as we go. Okay, so I've re-given this one to another spot. 154.50 break on Peloton, and we will be out. So 2 for 2 right now. Nice little win. $2.50 in the money on Peloton, and then 15 cents in the money right now on Palantir. Not huge, but I still think there's a chance. I don't know. Someone said NEO and Apple news. How is Apple going to be, making deals with a Chinese-backed EV company? They don't need to do that. So I don't see why that's not on my radar for sure. What is on my radar, there was this Tesla break of the high when that happened at 676. Neil and I talked about missing that one, up only $3, but now it's dropping back down. Look at this, 669. That's right where we got out. I'm looking at this price, 672. A couple bottoms here taken out. So a break of 673 to the high side, to me, may be worth it. We're back into NEO right now. Let's take a little bit off. So we get in at 44.30, just taking out some of this consolidation. Let's see if it rides back up. I'm not going to get out of this one now. We'll give this one back down to the day's low, or even 43.80, something like that. We'll take out one piece. I'll take out one more if we do get back up to 44.80. But other than that, man, we're going to stay away from this monster. NEO, only stock we've really lost anything significant on today, NIO. But right now we're long 31, seeking a little bit of revenge in what has been the cash cow. Not so much right now. 44.70. We'll take another piece out.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, C3AI, it's the first time I'm actually going to have this one. I've been trying to be patient all morning long on this name. It just dipped down to that 145 and touched it on a dime. Some dark pool prints went off on there, so I think some stops might have gotten triggered. At least that's what I'm banking on and hoping is true, because I just took the long on that little bounce. I end up paying up to 146.5, so risking a couple of bucks depending on slippage at 145. But I think we can get up to 150 on a retrace, take some shares off in front of that. And then if it breaks, I'm looking at VWAP, nothing past that. I don't want to get too greedy. It's obviously trending to the downside, so we got to pay attention to those wins. Palantir doesn't look, it's fine. It's going to go upside, that's fine. I wanted to get more shares than that consolidation at the bottom. If it doesn't happen, it just means it went in the money for you. You can't be mad about that, right, Sean?
No. I'm in the Yeah, sorry, I'm in the money here, 27 cents on Palantir. I don't really love it. It wasn't a big position, but we still like it. NEO now in the money, 30 cents as well. Come on, NEO, get me out. I'm waiting in the 60s. Give it to us, Brendo.
Another one to look at, guys. New Province acquisition. Remember, this one popped up, or Providence, I should say. Acquisition. This one popped up last week. Had 4 days in a row. Straight higher. We looking a little top heavy finally for this one. This is that Space Mobile. Remember, they're going to provide wireless services to the entire globe. Apparently, over 1.5 billion people. Possible target audience for them, but coming in pretty heavy off of 16. Just popped up on a volume scanner for NPA. It is 10:32. That means there's under an hour left in the session over in Europe. Valeria is watching what's going on over in Europe. V, what's up?
Hey Brandon, European shares are in positive territory. UK is closed for the Boxing Day, and in Germany, DAX hit record high on the optimism around Brexit trading deal. Back to you.
Yeah, the markets that are open are definitely positive so far today, guys.
It was literally warming up in here, and I was about to say it's actually going to end up being too hot in this room. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's some of the winds, but either way, now it's starting to get cold again. So I don't know what's going on, but I can tell you ACY is going up. And look, I like to shorten this at some point. I feel like it's already way overdone here. I like it. I want it. ACY, we can do it the easy way or the hard way. And clearly it's choosing the hard way because 330% to the upside. It could get a little crazy on a reopen. Look, I need to see, again, this is good because you're getting a bigger parabolic move up, which I think will squeeze. It might not be done, but if we reopen and then holds, you know, I'll look at this like 11 area to the downside, maybe with a stop at that 1165. It has to open lower for me to be able to get into this position. I am going to have it up on the side so I don't miss it out when it does open to the upside. I just said potentially open to the upside. I would stay away from it, but if it opens down, I will be hunting. C3 AI is pushing towards that 150 mark. It had some consolidation, 49s on the way down. I'll quickly scalp off 250, $2.50 if I can. If it does give me that level, the next one, of course, will be up close to VWAP, where I'm looking for about a $6 or $7 move on this retracement. So I got it in front of the bottom here. I've been patiently waiting for the pullback. It was a breakout that I wanted off the open. It just could not go. So instead, we're buying the dip on C3 AI. Just waited a long time before we actually got into it.
Okay, so I'm pretty happy that we wound up getting out here of some NEO. I lied about 60 there. What did I say, 70s or something we'd get out? I got out 59s there as it only goes as high as 66. And then we take a piece out, and then it breaks back down through 50, and we take that out as well. So 20, 40, 60% out now of NEO, and we're just holding that small 40%. We'll wait to see backside now. I'm not going to get out now. But what keeps going down, and we've got it, man. We've got some big winners on today for you. We've got Alibaba, $4. Now we have Palantir now at the day's low off of this nice short, 156. It's pushing. Let's see if we break this, and then we're off to the races down to Bill 50. So we'll wait to see Peloton down to Bill 50 right now. We'll see if we can have that one going. Now, the only thing I missed Nikola today. That was a mistake. We have NEO now, so that's a good one. And then other than that, man, CCL's up that 5%. What about CCL? Daryl, if you're watching this, what about CCL at $22 right now? As the CCL is a nice little move upside there. It resists that break. What else can we look at? Yeah, it doesn't go high side. My charts only go back 3 days. I put in that complaint, but we'll see. Here's CCL on the daily chart, though. 22 has been a problem. We've come up to 22 a couple times and never broke 22.50. So I think, again, too much consolidation here for me to look at CCL. But Daryl, if you're watching that, you let me know what you think on that one. And then basically NEO, big win right now for me, 35 cents in the money, and Peloton, $3 in the money. I think we'll just chill on some of these until we see something else. Ooh, DraftKings. I know you brought that to our attention before, Brendan and Neil, I believe. And some of our viewers, I think it was, also there. But Neil, DraftKings making the move down. NFL almost done.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit about the NFL in a little bit here, but I've been waiting to hit this one because I wanted it to be for C3 AI. Yes, we'll power up. It's just breaking through 150, so we did get the bottom here. I think Palantir is going to do a similar thing. That's why we like that trade as well, Sean. But here comes C3 AI. It was my best stock early in the week, and I got away from it towards the end, and we're jumping right back at it. If it gets to VWAP, we'll take that $6.50. I'll be very, very pleased with being patient on this particular name. But Brendan's got another one for us.
From the Cannabis Group. Looks like a cultivation agreement. for this one, guys. Evogene is what I'm talking about. EVGN popped up back on, what was that, Wednesday, I guess, had a big move to the upside. But that was the original date for this news. But looking like we're testing these highs up here for EVGN, up 20% already. But decent volume for this one as well, guys.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry, we were just talking about lunch. Believe it or not, in our chat, because we're deciding what we should order. Anyways, look, ACY opens.
Well, what did we decide then? What did
we haven't decided yet.
Okay, we haven't decided.
We have to decide what to get, but ACY is definitely spicy. It just pushed up and showing first signs of weakness here. If we hold below 1160, or if I see an order or any kind of size, I will take a shot at it, but it is still looking incredibly strong. As a matter of fact, the second it got to that pre-halt price, 1165, a bid showed up and just took it back to the upside. So I'm looking very, very specifically for weakness to hold a halt price downside on a reopen. I'm not even seeing anything of the kind. This could be it right here, but I'm not jumping in too early, guys. I'd rather miss by 50 cents or even maybe not $1, but like 50, 60 pennies of an entry price before getting into this one than just get in too early and get run over like a freight train, because it's going to come back in a few bucks. It's only a matter of when. It's not an if. It's 100% going to happen at some point. I just don't want to jump in too early because it's the freight train right now.
Yeah, no, I get the freight train reference, that's for sure. And look at a freight train, talking about a freight train, I mean, look at this freight train to the downside here. Let me even zoom out. You can see how dramatic this move was, and thank God we're able to step out of the way here, and we did not get freight trained, but we waited here. And this is, again, I'm just showing this to you for some education. Like, I didn't trade it until we saw some consolidation downside, and then when it breaks, we have it now. So a good trade there, but lost too much on the way down. Only real negative stock. We're still nicely positive, but yeah, that one's hurting a little bit. But right now, Peloton, I think we can retrace. My first out's going to be, or my next out's going to be around $45 right now. What's up, Valeria or Brendan?
One that popped up last week, guys. Next ID, NXT/ID. To the upside again today, 22.5, but just made a day low here through 150. Volume coming in on the downside as well. So we got back below 160, bit of a pivot on the daily time frame. So NXTD back to the downside, guys.
I just finished saying I should not get into this one too early and then end up chasing it down to 11. It's immediately testing the top here. So I was thankfully very, very patient here and getting some shares at the top. So I have 1150 as an average price, which is kind of what I wanted, but either way, it's not necessarily the way I wanted to get into an 1150 short. If it's gonna break above this, and I'm not using the actual high of the day. I like this like 12.25 area. If you're risking about $1, fair enough. I'm risking 75 cents in slippage, which I expect to be 25 cents, so I am kind of risking $1, but it's not gross $1. It's 75 cents in slippage. I think if we get any kind of a break, we're looking at minimum at least like a $10 level for some consolidation. That's about $1.50 from here, and then we can still get all the way down to VWAP. So the risk to reward is certainly there. I just feel like I wasn't quite as disciplined as I would have liked getting into this position. It ends up working out price-wise anyways, but that doesn't mean I like the execution that we had on it here, and it might actually even break as we speak. So this stock is absolutely nuts. Tread very, very lightly. The offer is... thin is the best word to use here, guys. But either way, there are some levels up here. 25 to 30 seems like it has a little bit of liquidity, so I can use that for a bit of an out. But stock still going to the upside. As you can see, it just broke on me, and I can't even get out. There we go. Finally was able to get the bulk of those shares out there. But ACY, I don't think it's done yet. If you're bullish on it, you might want to hang on.
ACY, why? We don't know why.
There is no good reason. That's why.
That is the problem. I mean, some of these trades don't need reasons. In one trade that we looked at again, and it's just going to look like this. And this is what you got to do if you're going to be a trader. Sometimes we overtrade, and it's just not that we're overtrading, guys. It's just that we're looking for opportunities for you. And like Palantir, both of us really stayed away until we made the move all the way to the downside, right? And then now we're able to catch that downside move. I went long here, 26.19, out at 50, where we saw, I always trade around those even numbers, and they're not even, like 50 quarters, 75, but they're the quarters. So there we go, in here at 15 or 16, out again just at 29, and then out at 50. We'll watch Palantir. I still like to pick some up to the downside in case that does break. So we are watching out for Palantir breaking to the downside. That's for sure as we go. That's one name. And then Neo, you did it to me again, man. We held that 40%. with rose-colored glasses, man, thinking that NEO was going to go all the way back up, and no, it does not. It gets faded once again. Like NASDAQ making moves up, and some of these names that have just been, overextended, like a NEO, just getting crushed right now to the downside. Oh, look at Facebook. I want to pick Facebook up at some point as well. This one, look at that, 265 straight northbound. Hopefully Microsoft hasn't gone. Maybe we can pick up something on the NASDAQ for cheap here. I don't know what. No, everything's gone right now. Wow, what happened to the NASDAQ in the last, what time is it? Like in the last 10 minutes here, making moves to the upside. Like Microsoft up $1.50 right now. Big time moves happening in some of these tech names. They're off to the races here. Sector Watch with Brendan. We'll find out about NASDAQ.
Hey guys, yeah, let's have a look at the S&P 500, see what is leading the ship so far today. Yeah, tech stocks are definitely positive here. You can see just in the last little while, notice this one, XRX, day highs, 3.8%. Next look for Apple as well, 2.14%, NTAP, HPE, and JNPR in the hardware equipment makers. Software names, DXC, 5%, MANV, about 2% to the upside. So tech stocks definitely among the leaders to the upside. Same story for the banks. Haven't really talked about the banks, but a lot of them definitely having good days so far. The individual banks here, the entire group in positive territory. Not huge moves, about 1.5% to 2%, but still higher on the day. There's Goldman, 2.1%, NTRX, MKTX trying to offset a little bit, 2% downside, but banks, tech stocks definitely among the leaders to the upside. Wanted to point out there, Etsy, 6% to the downside. We mentioned with Mark Roberts, some of the retailers showing a little bit of strength in the pre-market off of that retail sales number that came out, the holiday retail sales number that was better than expected, 3%. But Etsy there, 6% to the downside. Look at the travel names though, CCL, NCLH, RCL. There's Wynn, there's LVS, there's Booking.com down here, 2.5%. Expedia right beside it as well. All much higher on the day, 3 to 5% for the cruise line. So definitely leading in the consumer discretionaries. I was looking in the automotive group here. I don't see Tesla, but GM, Ford, and BWA there, 1.4% leading the way so far for the automakers. Down here, industrial stocks also having a nice day. Capital goods all positive outside of a couple there, but nice look. Transportation names again. Here's the airlines, AAL, UAL, and Dow leading 1.8 to 3.5% to the upside. So all things travel back to the upside so far. We are higher on the day, but 0.9% for the S&P, guys. Back over to you.
Thank you very much there, Brendan. And speaking of back, Palantir is right back to this like 2620 area. I actually reloaded, and this is kind of stupid. I reloaded in front of this 26, got some teens, and then watched it come right back, consolidate in front of that 2650 where I should have scalped some out. Didn't do so. Look, I threw an order here, and I'm going to try to get some in the 40s if I can on the way out. If you're going to reload like I did at a higher price, certainly should be scalping. And just in case it forms a wedge and gives you this sideways action for the next 20, 30 minutes. It is getting close to lunchtime, so tightening spread is something I would expect. It still feels like it has a shot to break up here. That's why I don't hold on to that long if I can. I can tell you that thankfully we got out of that ACY. It was tricky getting out of, but if I hadn't, I'd be staring at 15 and another halt to the upside. So when it reopens, I'm still looking for some weakness to play, but this could still be going absolutely parabolic here to the upside. I'm going to wait patiently for it. C3AI is starting to come back into that 145 area to retest, but it's holding higher for now. I'm still looking for VWAP to see if I can't get $6 or $7 on the second half of this trade. If we do, thankfully that'll be good, but even if it breaks 145 now, it cannot be a losing trade unless I fail to get out when 150 breaks, but that shouldn't happen.
Oh, God. Okay, NEO, again, all the way to the upside. We'll take it again. We'll see if we defend this 44, and then if it doesn't, we'll drop it. I mean, this has just been a stock that we've done well on this trade, but not today. And we're just going back to the well one more time. I tend to do this maybe a little too often as we think that we have something, and then we don't. So we'll wait to see here, to see what it does to the downside here. If it breaks through 44, then we'll drop it and we'll be done with NEO for the day. Forget it. We don't need to trade it if we don't need to. The other name here, Space. We're still positive today, so it's fine. Space, Virgin Galactic. I mean, look, here's another name. So DraftKings, Space, Peloton, some of these high flyers, Neo, XPEV, like you name it. Anything that's been going crazy lately, coming off today a little bit. So big moves to the downside in space. And again, this may be something that we can look at. Let's check out a daily chart on a 1 minute, not much happening. Ooh, we're right near this 50 period on our charts, 23.80. What a fall from grace there, down for Virgin Galactic. Look, I like the name, and I was saying maybe we can start to add it to our longer-term portfolio down here. I like it to break, and then maybe we pick some up. But if you're starting a position, this isn't horrible right here, $24. A nice move down for space, trying to break one way or the other, but I don't mind this name right here. So watch out for Virgin Galactic as it's definitely moving around. So that space, Peloton still breaking. I mean, I don't know where this one's going to go on the daily chart. We're giving this back to 154.30. Thought this 152 break might have sent us to 150. No luck, B.
Yeah, another one, guys, recent mover to the upside coming back in pretty hard today. Lemonade, 13, almost 14% to the downside for Lemonade. We're back below 110. If you remember, a couple weeks back, we had 110 that was a significant level, and then also 105 coming into play at the bottom here for Lemonade. Big move down today.
You gotta be kidding me.
You gotta start raising some cash, guys, because a lot of these names today, like even BFT tries to go and then stops and now not moving, right? Normally that would have gone. Here's STIC. I've gotten some of you guys into this name as well, and this name, fine. I mean, we've been doing fine on it. I mean, we closed the other day 1790, so we're down to, it looks like it's down 7%, but we did get as high early on as 1940. So when you're in at 12 and it goes to 19, that's not bad. But just look, some of the fuel, I guess, coming out of a lot of these names today, and they're rotating back into, like we said, man, the Facebooks, the Microsofts of the world. That's obviously not a NASDAQ name. Oh, what about JP Morgan? We are looking at 126 today. If that's back down, yeah, see, so again, some of these blue chippers remaining high, and the questionable stocks on the down low right now, Neil.
And 21 now on ACY. This is absolutely ridiculous, guys. Thankfully, I had a very 15 share position in ACY as it broke to the upside. But look, it's going to come back in. It's only a matter of when. I just feel like it has to now be specifically a downward halt. The level 2 I have up is Facebook because this was the last thing I was watching before that happened. I didn't want to switch away from it. So halt right now, 21.38. This thing is getting absolutely ridiculous. If you're holding along, I mean, it is what it is, guys, but you got to take some profit. This is like Hertz before it. This is like Kodak, one of those types of plays. It's only a matter of time before it comes back in. I'm going to be all over it when it does. But Facebook is approaching, Facebook just broke the high. This is why I was looking here. 273, however, just sort of loom large. And if you look at, and this is why I like the 273 a little bit better, there was, oh, come on, 15 minutes. There you go. There was definitely some chop and consolidation from here to that 75 mark on the way in. And Facebook looking to break through that right now. Certainly a good pick this morning. And just breaking through the highs as we speak. So if you're looking for strength overall and what brought the NASDAQ up, it's definitely being led, I think, by Facebook. Among some other names here, I am going to go back to MYOV for a split second here. I talked about this one breaking 28. It did, but just hasn't really done anything, so I did get into the position at 27.90. It's continuing to try to roll over. 26.50 has sort of been that target for support. I would definitely get some out in front of it, and then look to see if that breaks to the downside. It's a good name, but just feeling like it is starting to come off a little bit here on MYOV. And Palantir, I did try to scalp some out in front of 26.40, but it came right back to that quarter mark.
I do want to say a big thank you to some new members joining us because, guys, in about a half hour, we're doing a members-only talk. Welcome, Steve Grantham. Welcome, Neil, as well. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us up. There he is, nice new member there as well. And what we're talking about, hey, what is Sean talking about half the time? I don't even know myself. But right now, members-only Q&A coming up right after the show. It's all of you. It's all of us. Any questions you want, maybe investment related, what kind of keys do we use, what goes through our minds on different breaks or whatever. I'm not going to feed you the answers. Today with Mark Roberts as well, so that should be really fun. We are ready, though, it looks like, at the big board, Money Talks with Brendan. Let's find out about some currencies, guys.
Yeah, the most action, guys. Bottom end of the board so far today. I'll show you as we come in here. Crypto's going crazy once again today. Bitcoin, Ethereum. Bitcoin with that huge move over the weekend up to 28,000, coming back in a little bit. You can see back below 27,000, 26,800 and change. Still 10% on the day. Look at Ethereum though. Sean was mentioning right off the bat this morning, 18%, better part of 18% there, 727. You can see the chart. We did take out the high, got as high as 741. Early on this morning. That's an hourly chart. So grinding its way back to the upside. Not so much for Ripple at the bottom there, another 10% to the downside. News of that SEC investigation last week into Ripple. A couple of things from the top end of the board here to be aware of. The Canadian dollar back to the downside was actually positive early on, about 0.5%, so a little bit of a reversal, all based off US dollar strength. So after the news came out that the stimulus package had been signed, we got a little bit of a bump in the US dollar. So dead flat right now for the CAD. The euro is still higher, but also was significantly higher than that. Early on, British pound back to the downside, had a big run up to 136 at the end of last week when we got the Brexit news. So yeah, almost a full percent there, 134.5 for the British pound. Everything else pretty muted outside of the Turkish lira. Yeah, big move down today, 1.8% for the Turkish lira. Australia, New Zealand also in negative territory. Let's go back to Sean.
Okay, so NEO does hold. Thanks, Brendan. Yeah, interesting to see the Turkish liras been moving around. We've talked about that a little bit as well on the show. But here we go. Here goes NEO, and we did get it. So I'm pretty happy with this NEO trade. However, it's not really going too much more. We did average into 13s there. What's our average price now? 18, so up to 28, 29, 42s. Where's my order? 43. Unbelievable. That went to 42, but we are waiting at 43. I don't know why. I pick these random prices and then I get mad when they don't hit. So I don't know why. Peloton right there comes out. So we didn't take the very bottom there. We talked about some consolidation. Now it's breaking back upside. Look, just to go with that thesis that I had earlier, guys, about names coming off that have been running. I mean, check out this favorite one of ours. Chewy, guys, down 7 and 8% today. Was down 8% at once, now down 7. Was maybe even lower down there to 94 and change. Like, no reason for this to come off, just the fact that it's been a down day. Wowzers. Okay, we just showed about that member, so thank you, Eric. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, C. Arthur. And Neil, we've already done that as well. So in just a half hour, everybody, and there he is again. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Nurbu, as well. So you'll get that link. I'm not sure how it gets sent out. I think it goes... Oh, Valeria sends it in a chat there. So Chewy, good for a swing? Yes, I would say. But we got to do a little more work on some of these names because I'm just wondering, like, I don't want anybody to get in position today. Let's see if this rolls over to tomorrow because we can't take Chewy today down 8 and then tomorrow it's down another 8. So we got to find out what's going on. And I don't think it's a broken stock by any stretch of the imagination, Shakib. But we will look here at Chewy. Look at this. Like, it's pulled back down again. Why did it do that? Like, we just take out all of last week in one day. So yeah, we may come back down to this 84, 85 level. Just be careful, guys. Raise capital if you can, because I don't think this market downturn is over. I don't know why Mark was super bullish this week, but again, the markets are up. It's just the individual names, Neil, that are struggling. And if you picked the big ones, you're laughing today.
Yeah, and speaking of which, I mean, I just got out on C3 AI as it broke 145. Thankfully, because we took profit scalping some out, it'll still be positive on it. But the sell is coming on some of these names. I'm looking at Lemonade here, and I like Lemonade, but like you said, there's no way I'd be buying even here, and it's a troubling stock in terms of how fast it went, how to get in. But it might give you a shot back in this low 90 range on a 100 break, or even a test of 100 even, which didn't seem like it was possible last week. So be patient. I think there's going to be plenty of opportunities, and maybe even in the new year, to get some of these names on retraces. Palantir, however, in a day trade, this one is looking like it is breaking back up to VWAP potentially. Brennan.
We are getting a little bit late in the morning here, but 85% still for this GRNQ. Just had another volume alert go off for this one as we try to get back above that 250 area. So it is getting quite tight back and forth here between 220 and 250. Going to break eventually, one direction or another. $100 million, guys, they invested into Bitcoin. That was the news this morning. So a double overnight for GRNQ.
Yeah, that'll do it. 100 million, not a bad little investment there. Okay, so yeah, talk about Bitcoin. There isn't a whole hell of a lot going on. I've been trading some GBTC, but not that much. We had a good short up here, but dropped it and then got caught a little bit. So we're actually negative on Bitcoin today. So I don't even know how that's possible, but we are. NEO still bouncing around, the only position I have on. We did get our 40, so sometimes it's good to be lucky and lucky to be good. So we will unplug, where is it? there it is. We'll unplug just a little bit. Good job on getting that back, guys. That means a lot. It adds a lot to the show. So we get some out there. Now we're still going to hold for this 44 break. I don't know if it happens, but that's what we're holding out for right now on NEO, a nice little 44 break. We just got a crap ton of members there. And I apologize if I miss you. Tony Gunn, what's up, Eric? I think we got all you guys. Jason as well, Nurbu, and Michael. The man with one name, I like it there. So thank you so much, Michael, for joining us as well. AMD, sure. Let's look at AMD. Lucky I caught that, guys. Let's have a quick look. We talked about a lot of the mega caps, Neil and Brendan, going crazy today. AMD, not one of them. It does make a bottom at 91. And right now, ooh, a good little look right here at VWAP. So AMD, let's check out what it looks like on a 3-minute chart. I'm thinking I should have reversed long in Peloton. We'll check that out in a minute. I don't know. 92 and change. Ooh, it just broke it. Yeah, AMD, a good little long off 92. I don't know where you'd base it. This one you got to give a little more room. What's up to Sanjay Patel as well? Thank you so much. There he is. Thank you for becoming a member. Almost time, guys. A half hour away until our members only meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe we'll talk a little bit, I don't know, Palantir. We usually do. But it just made that break of that 2650. It's made its bottom. We talked about 2550 to 26. This was what we mentioned when it first dipped to the downside. Let's wait around for that level. It bounces off of that 80. Once it gets back above 26, take the break, take the pullback. Now I want to hold for VWAP. If it does continue past that into the afternoon, then we'll hold like 10% of the position on Palantir. I can go back to OCGN, if only to tell you, it is still working back to the downside. There was this one test at the top. We got that reversal off of 250. I shorted 45s. That's the price we're still holding on to right now. Actually, 43s, which is the lower price I got. 2 entries here, 45, 43. It's the 43s I have left. I still think $2 is a good target. It's still sliding downside, but it's getting to the time of day where the stop might need to be a little bit tighter than just that 250. Might actually give it to like a 240 break-even area, just so we don't turn a winning trade into a losing trade. You never want to do that, guys. Nikola has been good. It just hasn't quite had the free fall that I was expecting. Once it broke VWAP, I really thought that this was just going to continue. It would hold below 475, 460, and then go right down to 14 even. Give it all back. I thought it was a squeeze on the way up, so it should retrace almost everything. That's not necessarily done yet, but it is getting to the point of day where, if I had more shares and only hold like the last 10% of it, I would definitely be considering taking more profit down around 1450 and not waiting for 14 even, guys. It was a great break up to the long side. Now you can see volume really, really tapering off. If I do this for you guys, just so you can see. There we go. Now you can see volume tapering off, which is good for the short. That's why I'm not getting out of it yet. But it might do absolutely nothing the rest of the day. And if that's the case, and I still had most of the position on, I'd certainly be taking profit because the short should have been up here at 15. Now, if you're short right here, right now, the stop for me would be like 80 to 85.
Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't got into Nikola. I wrote down that 1425 and really haven't been back into it since. We said we'd have a look quickly at Peloton, but right now, guys, yes, sir, we're barbecuing a little bit of profits as our days turned around nicely now as we're back up. So good trading on us today. Someone asked about what ABML was. It's a pink sheet stock. But okay, there it is. A nice little out there. Yes, 40 cents win for NEO. We talked about us defending 44. We got smoked on it right here. Now we're doing a little bit better, making some money back. But no one cares about that when we have European update and Valeria's standing up there. So let's get it over to Valeria. What's up in Europe today, V?
Hey Sean, European shares are in very positive territory today on the optimism around Brexit trading deal. UK is closed today for the Boxing Day. France is up 1.36%. Spain is up 0.62%. Russia is up 0.39%, and Germany is up 1.56%. Deutsche Post trading in Germany is up more than 2% after company's CEO said that the company is expecting record profit in 2020. Back to the traders.
Thank you very much, Ms. V. ACY has halted again, this time at 31. Much like Kodak, much like Hertz and some of the other names we've seen sort of in the space, a U1 comes to mind. It's just a matter of time, and when it does, I'm going to try and catch it on the way back in. It hasn't shown any signs of halting to the downside just yet. Right now, I think we would have to be, I'm just looking on my chart here, probably like a 25.60. That would be the level that if it tries to go below that, you try to get into a short. But if you miss the first one, you might be chasing it entirely too far. It is what it is. There's only one way I want to get in, and that's halting, reopen, that opens lower. C3AI. I think I might have got wicked out of this one, but this is just going to be part of the plan. Some of these names that Sean mentioned, the the recent flyers, the IPOs that have been running, some of these momentum names which have been super strong are getting sold off today. So had to have a stop. I did reload in front of 145. I got out when it broke. It looks like this could be the move to the upside, but if it shook me out, I can still be positive on the stock and walk away from it. Palantir is running into some trouble here at 26, 60 or so to 75. It's still in the money and it's still grinding to the upside, but I have to watch out because this push back up here is not nearly as strong as I was expecting in some of these names for the bottom picks. Either way, it's still working. I don't want to change the plan just yet. But in the back of my mind, I'm saying, why aren't we going up a little faster than this? Usually when Palantir finds a bottom, it's screaming up to VWAP rather than slowly grinding, which is what I'm watching here.
Yeah, oh no, for sure. And look what we're finally doing now. Yes, I don't know. I'm trying to hit something that we haven't hit before. Let's just hit, do we have like a revenge is best served cold? We do not, but there's an explosion of money because we make a little bit back right now on NIO. And, we took this long. We left it alone. There's the out at 60s. Now we're breaking higher. We still have 20% left of this position. We did average in. So we reloaded, man, and we didn't get stopped out. So that was a good one. Now we'll see about VWAP all the way up to 45. But, hey, not too often. 66 penny winner right there. Good call on that. I wanted to get at least a little talking about ACY here. NASDAQ name? No? Amex name? There it is.
It's Amex.
Yeah, Amex name. So I have it on my other charts that I wasn't able to see. But this halted again, man, like $31. Brendan, I don't know what the total shares outstanding is, but you're just going to see this is just a broken mechanism again. So, look, I'm not going to tell people to don't buy this stock right now, but this is what happens. Like, people get caught in Kodak, Neil. People get caught in a lot of stocks when they do this. Like, do we really think that Aero Century Corp, which none of you even probably know what they do, I don't, you're going to be able to get caught in this if you're caught up to $31. It's just a lot of margins, a lot of things getting blown out. So just watch out if you're trading this to the top side. Not often do you want to be into a stock that's up 1,100% unless you're already long. Like, take a couple of the first halts, but this is like 5 or 6 halts, maybe even more. I don't know. And just don't touch it, guys, if you're in this. But that's just my 2 cents. Trade it if you want.
It's done 20 times float already. Actually, more than that, Brendan.
That's the problem, yeah.
Yeah, it's 1.5 outstanding, 1.1 million free float, and then 4 million on the market cap there. So teeny tiny again. It was in the aerospace leasing business, guys, for that ACY.
Yeah, I wasn't even right. It's more than 20x, and well more than 20x in terms of float that it's done turnover-wise. But it's still happening, guys, and you have to pay attention to it when it does. So we're going to be watching this name, and we're going to be watching it closely. The second I get any shot to jump into the short, I can tell you right now, when Kodak made a similar move, it was almost impossible to get it on the way back unless you were shorting on the way up. But I think that's kind of suicide at this point. Alibaba is pushing towards that 225, and I said if it got here again, I would take a shot at a bit of a pullback trade. It tested the 224, but didn't get to that 50 mark. If it goes shy of 224.50, I might actually jump in early on this trade just because I really like this scalp at this time of day. Some of these long bounces have run out of steam. BABA, if it makes this top here, the same way Palantir is starting to roll over shy of VWAP, I think a possible rollover in front of 225 could be in the cards. Again, it is what it is, and of course the news from last week being negative as well could give it some reason to push back off this 225 level a second time. So gonna get in here if I can. If it just blows straight through to 225 without any kind of a turn, without a huge level there, I'll probably not jump into it. I like getting in on the way down or when it's going sideways as opposed to standing in front of that train, guys.
And look, I mean, here's ACY. See, it's open again. And I mean, if you're long again, like, it just opens. Halt.
An instant halt.
Instant halt. I just don't know. And again, the reason why I talk about this, and it's kind of topical because it comes on a day where I remember our last Ask Us Anything, and that's why we talked about it now, is that I got a question on the last one, AMA, and it's coming up, guys. So it said, what do I do with Kodak? I'm stuck long. And it's just, I just want to tell you guys, like, unless you're caught here, you shouldn't really be trading this. And some people say, oh, I want to hold to 100. So that's good. So if you have an idea of what you want to do here, then that's fantastic. But I mean, it could open up next time down here 29, and then you're stuck because you may not ever see this level again. Or we could open up at 50. So it's just one of those things where if you want to flip the dice, day trading gets a bad rap sometimes, Neil, and you know this. And it's like, we're gambling. But this is too much of a gamble for me. I'd rather, just much rather, you talked about Palantir, and some people say, oh, that stock's risky as well. Not really, right? Like when you have a plan of action, like in here and then out for 40, 50 cents, sure, you miss some upside, but you have a plan. I mean, the same thing again with Peloton. Like, here's the short, here's the outs. We're not caught in this. Now, if you want to go crazy on some stocks that are going parabolic, then go for it. But you do take that risk, guys. So just be very, very careful. And there's a NEO out again. Bang, like there it is. Like here we go. Risk management, guys. We go long, we take hits, but then NEO just rips back to the upside, and we're able to make some of that back with a nice little 70-cent win there on NIO. So some talk there, but look, trade your book, but definitely understand the risks in the market before you even hit a key. Education is number one, then execution, guys.
I see one of the guys in the chat here, Tyrone Biggums, I'm sold, buy 100 on ACY. Yeah, I know you're kidding there, so that's definitely a good joke. And it's just, it's like Sean said, it's about a learning experience. On U1K, I'll never forget that one specifically. It was just one of those situations where, yeah, when we were saying, people, this is crazy, you should be selling it, was probably another 30 to 40%. It actually went to the upside at that point, but then it was like 15 minutes later that a couple of halts, and then it started to come back in. I did get into Alibaba here. I haven't added to the position yet. I was actually hoping it would give me closer to 24.50. I actually have right here at 224, but if it continues to consolidate, I'll probably get a few more shares into this one off of that 225. Well, look, it's not really a double top yet, but it's made a double top lower than that, so it's worth working off of here on Alibaba. Brendan?
Another little one starting to go here, ATIF. It's already made quite the move. In fact, 80 cents up to $1.40 here, 93%. I don't see much in the way of news on this one. They did get a NASDAQ minimum bid notification the end of last week. I believe it was the 18th when it was down here around 70 cents. So we're back to the upside in a big way, to say the least, for ATIF, guys.
Yeah, NASDAQ minimum bid notice, again, guys, you have to be on, and good call there. And this is what we talk about. We talk about education. You got to be, what is this, NEO up to 40.55. Okay, you got to be over $1 for a certain amount of days, or else they boot you. So, and you got to have reasons and so on and so forth. That's why you get a lot of companies like ACB and whatnot reverse splitting, right? And so maybe that's going to be in the cards for that stock. It's not done that yet, but maybe in the cards for that. So that could be a reverse split spot. Just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. NEO here, we just tweeted it out. But watch out. You guys could even go longer again on this break, 45.20.
Yeah, and I want to go quick, if I can, back to Fubo. I mean, this 37 bounce, it's still continuing with a bit of a downward trend, so I would hold off on it, at least for now. But if it has made a bit of a bottom, this could be one on the comeback train. But this is a bit of a tricky week to pick anything up that, there's companies that probably are a little bit better that are pulling back, and thank you to the daily. There we go. Finally loading up there. But if this is going to hold, there is still like a 35.50 area as support if you wanted to give it more than that 37. And then you probably have a good shot. Like 42 to 44 isn't a horrible bounce play. It's a tricky week to be betting too heavily on it. So, I think there's better names, and obviously I'm already in Palantir here, that I think for bounces, and I think Fubo is, and the party might not be over yet. It might be over my chance to get more shares of Alibaba. I was greedy and said I wanted shares closer, or more shares closer to 224.50. That could end up being the wrong thing. If it gets down halfway to VWAP, I'll take some out, and the rest I'd be getting out at VWAP here, just sort of a retracement play off of the high of the day. Hasn't gone yet, but working slightly in the money here, and I'm trying to hold off on selling lower and trying to sell at a higher price if I can. I can tell you Palantir is still frustratingly holding itself below VWAP. I just can't get over the fact that usually, if you get a bottom like this in Palantir, it should already have tested 27s. Relative weakness is certainly in. I don't want to give this trade any more to the low of the day. Forget about 25.80. I'll get out of this thing if it breaks its 26.15 mark. If it breaks this consolidation higher, I'm just going to get out because it's not going as fast as I expected. It's not as strong as I expected. So my stop is going to come up to make sure that this cannot turn into a losing trade after already giving me some scalp wins.
And that's, yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what we're talking about, guys. Make sure your trades turn into winners and not losers. And that's why we take a little bit more out. Well, we're out now of NEO, but that's at that 45 level. I just don't want it to break and snap. So we do take that out. And now we don't have to worry too much about that stock. But as we go, guys, big day continues for us. especially member-wise. Rubina, thank you so much. You're going to be joining us as well in about 20 minutes, and so is Rohit. So thank you so much. For $4.95 a month, guys, you get to pick our brains, and that's happening soon. You can get that coming through. You can see, why did Sean take Neil there? Why are we shorting Alibaba? What the hell is going on? Ask us all those questions, and we'll give you direct answers. I went long Alibaba on this 220 break. It was a good trade for us. We did make some money. We're nicely positive today, but wow, talk about trading Bitcoin. Like, you don't even need to trade anything else other than these names, Mara and Riot, guys. Like, wow, 32 million shares for Mara, and still making, I mean, it's making moves downside, but wow, what a good move for that one today. I need to find an ETH stock to trade. That's Ether, guys. What's up, Brendo?
Yeah, another one to have a look at, guys. Netgear, just read they signed a new agreement to bring Wi-Fi 6.0, I think it was, to India. So a big contract for Netgear, 7.5% back to recent highs here for NTGR. This one as well, BTBT, mentioned this one earlier, Bit Digital, another one in the crypto space. I believe they do, Sean, have exposure to all of them, not just Bitcoin. So BTBT, day highs here above $8 for this one.
Well, don't do that to me there, Alibaba. I mean, my bid is sitting right here. You can sort of see that little turquoise line. It just turned down. Of course, this dark print is good, dark pool print that did not come down at 227, 217 is just going to show it off here. It just bounced off my order. I think we're going to be good to go. I'm going to get that like buck, 20 or so, buck 30 ish on the way down towards VWAP, but it just bounced off 65 where I was sitting. I might actually cancel the order and just see if I can't get out a little more aggressively. If it dips down there again, I'll just get out on the offer by removing liquidity instead of trying to add it all the time. Either way, I think the retracement is on the VWAP, and I think 221 is a reasonable target for the rest of it. Alibaba looking okay. I wish I had traded a little bit of bingo. Brennan brought this to our attention, and we talk about this in small caps all the time, and one of the setups that I really, really like is I'm going to try and get out of those BABA shares if I can. There we go. I just got some out in front of that 222.65, so we do get that buck 30, guys. But BNGO here, anytime you get this failed break at $1 on a penny stock, and then it rolls back over, that is just get in, get in, get in. If you're shorting, it doesn't get any better than this trade, especially when it gives you a shot to short multiple times at 98. I missed it, but Brennan brought this to our attention with plenty of time to get into this one. And for whatever reason, I put it on my quote board. I just didn't look at the chart and actually analyze it. Man, that's a setup that can never be missed by me because that's a way better short than even like BABA, which is working here. It's a way better than chasing like trying ACY when it made sense. But either way, it's a missed opportunity. It won't happen again. Hopefully, when I get $1 even failed break on something like BNGO, Brennan.
Yeah, this is another one, guys, that gained its original fame from way back at the beginning of the pandemic. They were going to make, I believe they did start manufacturing PPE equipment. So DPW is the stock I'm talking about. DPW Holdings, their Cool Assist Technologies awarded a $1.1 million military contract today. But just breaking downside here, you can see just went off on a volume alert there to the downside for DPW.
Okay, yeah, great trade there by Neil on BABA. So catching that one to the downside. There's that BTBT running. I did want to look at that quickly as well. Brendan, you did talk about this one. Bit Digital getting into the game now, 9. Wow, it could take out 9. Let's go long if this thing takes out 9. BTBT, it's getting real spicy right now. It does have a high back in the day of 9 as well. Just a couple days ago, 9:05, a couple days ago, I guess, December 1st. But back then, 9 and change. So watch out for BTBT. Looks like it wants to break right now, and I think that's a reasonable trade breaking through $9. Fubo down to 37, man. We talked all about Fubo when someone asked me, and they gave a super chat early. NYSE, like all these names that I'm not familiar with. This was that little break level that we talked about down here, 36, 37. So we are getting very, very close to those levels here on Fubo. So watch out, guys. Again, if you're stuck upside, just try not to. I mean, here's another one as well, ACY over on Amex. We talked about that today. Halted once again, but look at this, guys. Like 1,300% upside. Just be careful with these names. Very, very dangerous. I'm just going to keep saying that because I don't want any of you guys caught in any of that. And I missed that BTBT because I was talking about it. But there's the breakthrough 9. And again, I think this is worth it. Up through 9. Look at the spread though, Neil. Like 20 pennies on that. So I don't know if I would have missed it or not, but great break on 9.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm seeing the last halt on ACY is a volatility halt, but If it is, it's past the 10-minute mark, which is the longer of the two halts. I mean, I don't think I was expecting it to open any second now, but unless I see something differently, it is a volatility halt. It just didn't open when I expected it would. Brendan?
11:04.49. I actually see news pending, Neil. So
okay.
38:04. There's a news pending. There was at the same time a volatility halt, but there's also news pending now.
Okay, good look there, and that's why we have Brendan. So we don't know when this one is going to open back up. When it's news pending, they might have to clarify a little something, and that could get interesting. Look, again, if you're holding that to the long side, and ultimately that's fine. Now that it's going to be a news halt, if you're still in the money, market on open order does make some sense. I mean, look at that. Look at this, 500%. I mean, give me a break. That's a little ridiculous. I do want to come back to C3AI because this is going to be potentially the one that got away. However, look at this. It's a bit of a big range through the bottom because of that 145 break, but that was a fail break, and I would wick me out of my long. But if you look at that 145 into 150 here, it's like a $5 consolidation. It has a shot to break upside here. 151 does maybe get you like $5 into the next chop zone. So I am back into looking at C3AI to the long side. I'm not going to jump in and sort of chase this trade, or just if it dips down, buy that dip. It'll be like only a scalp break long, and the only way I want to catch it is through a break of that one. It looks like 150-120 or so. Does give you a bit of a breakout potential in the afternoon. That's the kind of thing I like to look for, those reversals, whether it's BABA short off the top or breakout here in a name that's come down like C3AI, which I was kind of bullish on. Either way, I'm going to wait patiently for it for the entry that I want. I'm not bottom picking on this again because if it tests the low, I kind of feel like it is going to make a move through that bottom. And then 135 was a heck of a long ways away from the current low. And there's not much in terms of support if it does get through the current bottom, guys.
Yeah, I did want to give just another little rundown here. As we have coming up, guys, is going to be, and we're going to talk about this one more time. It's because it's a big one, and we're getting a lot of members today as well. So there is interest here. Coming up in about 20 minutes or so, right after the show, you'll get the link. It'll be on our community page. Valeria's also going to put the link in the chat. I don't know, right now or whatever. Pardon? And on Twitter. So you could definitely find the link for our coming up chat with our Q&A. Ask us anything. And with that being said, we just had a bunch of members disappear. I want to say thank you to John. I want to say thank you to Kevin. We did have a whole bunch there that I just missed. Okay, starting at John. Jennifer Wu, thank you so much as well. And then Tyler, thank you for becoming a member. So a bunch of new members today as well. Mark Roberts coming through to talk. If you guys know him from the beginning of the show, that's good. BTBT here at NASDAQ. We don't have that 9 break, but it was good. And if those of you that watch me trade probably know I would have got some out there at 25 and then maybe even, I don't know if about at 30 or so, but BTBT hits that, now comes back down. So watch out, guys. BTBT might have just made the high. I think this is not a horrible opportunity to go short using that 950 as your backstop. So we'll watch going short on BTBT. But remember, Bitcoin name, everything making money. And I got a nice Christmas present because I realized I think I had 7 Ether or so, maybe a little bit more on my Trezor ledger. So we're going to find out about that with some, I probably have like little Bitcoins hidden everywhere. So I got to do more work to find out about that because yeah, this is back into play. Okay, BTBT looking to take out the high again. I don't know. Does this keep going? 934 squeeze? Let's see.
Honestly, this one feels like it's a less squeezy. I don't know.
Yeah,
less of a squeeze than ACY, obviously.
I don't know.
That's just a horrible pun, but that's the level that you're watching, and it's at $9. You can allow it to break through, and certainly it already has. But if on that break it's a bit of a sort of fail and a fake out like it was, and then you get this consolidation right here, this is a little bit more structured. It somehow actually didn't halt to the upside. But I'd be perfectly fine with that short trade off of either the current high or this like 910, 915 that I put in. I just didn't pay for the locates on it. So actually, no, we have locates free. So I actually expected that we wouldn't have them, but thank you, DTTW. We do have the share locates. So I like it off of like a 915, 920 area, but it's tight stops. If you're going against the grain on something like this, and it is in the hype sector, I don't like taking it at 9 and then giving it to the high day. It's too much room, too much slippage up there. But if you're using the lower high, it's a bit of a safer trade. And that's why I like going against the grain in that fashion, as opposed to always giving it to the most obvious level that everybody is watching.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth a retracement here on BTBT. So watch out for that one to go short. I definitely like it. Okay, our NEO, this is why we get out when we do, guys. We get out of NEO right now, and look what's happening to it. Back to the downside right now goes NEO. So nothing but love for you, NEO, but that's still BTBT. Okay, charts are having some problems today. There it is. We just sold it off that VWAP. So I just want to bring it to everyone's attention that if you are trading with us, we often will use VWAP as out. And then we also do have, technical reasons, but that's a good one there. Out of 45 all day, every day for me anyways on those breaks. So that was a good trade. Our Apple still to the high side. You want to talk about BTBT there, Neil, as it breaks. What about Riot as well? Like a lot of these names, this is why I said the short wasn't bad. Neil gave his reasoning there as well. But okay, now my Riot chart's not gonna load, but look at this, guys, up 26% and breaking out again. So you just gotta watch some of these stocks. Welcome to the club, guys. I hope we have a great AMA, which we will. Jim in the web, welcome. I hope you're still in the web for this meeting. Mark Jones as well, and Racco Carazo. And I wonder where Free My Grandma is, because I hope Grandma had a good Christmas. What's up, Brendan?
Some of these SPACs, guys, just absolutely crazy. Here's another one. Thunderbridge, if you remember from a couple of weeks back, THBR, Thunderbridge acquisition. They're taking a semiconductor company from India public. So this was announced going back to the end of 2 weeks ago. Went from 10.5 to 14.5, just taking out day highs here. 9% for Thunderbridge, guys. Thunderbridge. Oh, I don't know. I had to do that one, guys. I tell you, you can tell exactly how old I am if I'm giving a Thundercats reference. So I probably shouldn't have given that one away. I mean, look, if you can't beat them, join them. This is ridiculous. So BTBT doesn't make, any of these don't make too much sense to me when they go this far. But if I got to reverse and go long to make back any money that I lose on shorting in front of it, I'll go ahead and do that. It's usually a plan that works. Had I done it on ACY, I'd be laughing, but I am still looking for shorts in all of these names. Basically going to be flat because as far as it went to the upside is exactly where it stalled out. As far as it went against me in the short is as far as it stalled out to that long. It didn't even get to $10. 988 is the current high. I still would think about looking for a short off of maybe a $10 level, but I'd much prefer to see these things halt. And then post-halt trading is definitely a lot better. This has not halted to the upside despite the crazy moves you're seeing. We're still waiting for a news-based halt on ACY. So that one, there's no guarantees when it's going to open back up. So unfortunately, if you're caught holding it, I like the idea if you're holding along to use if you have the ability to, a market on open order to get out on the open print, because if there's nothing new, it's likely to start coming back in. And that's just the reality, and it's likely that there isn't anything new. Alibaba, again, bounces just in front of my target, 221.50. It happened the first time, $1 higher. It's doing the same thing again, $1 lower. So I'll make the exact same plan here, which is just cancel the bid, allow it to trade back into that price, and then use an active order to remove liquidity on any kind of a bounce off VWAP. This is just one of those, it gives you that test at 225. Well, just almost no chance at breaking through because it just sold so sharply off that level when it tried to break into 225, and then it retests the lower high the second time I get in, and then we're getting the VWAP retracement. So that's not that difficult of a trade. We'll line that one up and knock it out. Now that it's back down here, I'll remove liquidity to get out on the way out for 250, 2 to 250 in terms of a win. I don't expect it to necessarily break too much further than VWAP. If it does, it's no pie in my face. I'll take the win as structured. This is what I'm usually doing. If I think it's a bullish stock, and I think the trend is going to be upside, like Alibaba kind of thought the same thing on Thursday, which was wrong, I'm not going to be holding on for the home run win on that short trade. If I was bearish on it, this was Nikola on the same setup, yeah, I'd be holding to see if it would test that bottom, but not in Alibaba, guys.
Okay, guys, and BTBT, you're welcome for that one, guys. I see a lot of people thanking Brendan for that, so I'll accept that on Brendan's behalf because he brought this to our attention, man, when it was ramping, and there's the break early. Like on stocks like this, when they're in the right space, they have the right names there. I just don't think that there's anyone going to step in the way of some of these stocks. Neil tried the short reverse long, that was successful, so good on that one. And then here it goes. I talked about a 9 break, and as per usual, I was talking too much and missed the 9 break, and now it's up. It just goes to $10 right there, guys. So that's a smooth dollar. I don't know. I don't think I would take this anymore, but again, it's in the right space and the right name. And part of what I And I say this, I've had a couple interviews about, you know, what I've learned and what we've been doing good. I'm just not like one of these YOLO traders. I'd rather put my money into an STIC or something that I think can go eventually and not worry about individual daily trades. But again, we are on the show and we're not allowed to trade in and out of our own account as we prop trade. So you got to watch out for that when I'm talking about some positions. Thank you so much. I'll see if we can get everybody here. Racco, Carousel, if I miss anybody that's paid already, let me know. Tim the Tall Man, how about Tim the Tool Man? Great show there. Tabitha Jones as well. Thank you for AK. Take it easy on us. Don't fire those AKs. And Maria, thank you so much. And if I did miss anybody, I'll go back and have a quick look. But Tim the Tall Man there, good one. Mark Jones, I think we got everybody. So that's a good one. Thank you so much for all the members. We're getting ready soon. I'm excited for it. We got a lot of good questions last time. It'll be coming up in about 5 or 6 minutes. Let's call it 10 minutes. Let us go to the bathroom, get some water, get some hydrate, and then we'll get back into it because today we've been hydrating a little bit, but we didn't fill this up. So it's a cheat code today. Never Say Never, a Justin Bieber song for Valeria there. That's not why it's on my little list there, but there it is. Sponsored by Trader TV Live. Psych, it's not sponsored by anybody. I bought this jug.
A nice little sticker. Of course, covering up whatever was there before. It doesn't really matter. I'm kind of curious as to what some of those other things say. Maybe have a look at it after
This
the
says
show.
Ito. But that's the maker of it. Yeah. I can show you. Here, it doesn't matter. It goes right here. It goes,
there you go.
Good morning, so that you know you're doing well. And then at 9 o'clock, it's have a nice day. Remember your goal. Come on, drink more, never say never. Almost there, 7 p.m. at night. And then if you're still drinking a lot of water at 9 p.m., then you may be awake a couple times during the night there, Neil.
Yeah, and I think that, look, anyways, you can do whatever you want, but sometimes you want to hold off on too much if you want to have a good night's sleep. BNGO is still continuing to announce that. I want to remind everybody, it's like Mark is going to be coming through. If you follow the show on our pre-market prep, starting at 8:30, he's on 3 times a week. He's been a fantastic guest for us, and you can definitely pick his brain on what some institutional players are doing or what those thoughts might be going into the new year. So get your questions ready and lined up, and if you're not a member and you haven't joined, you're probably going to be missing out today. I think it's going to be a fantastic one. All done in Alibaba, like I mentioned here, so we're going to get out in front of VWAP. That was the play the entire time. If it goes further, that's fine. A 225 break is certainly potentially in the cards. Just remember how big this gap is. It's ridiculous dark pool print at 325. Anyways, the gap 255 going into last week. Even that pre-market top was like a 239. 235 was a big level as well. So on a 225 break, I'm going to like it. You might not get it till maybe tomorrow or later on in the week, but I'll be having a look at that one, guys. There is, oh my goodness, I already know what National Day it is. And I feel like, man, we've had some good ones lately. This one is definitely near the top of the list. If we're ready, let's go to Ms. V, so you guys can all see what National Day it is.
Thank you, Neil. And hey, guys, thank you very much for joining us today. You can find a link for members-only Q&A on our Twitter page, on our live chat, also on both community pages of our YouTube pages. Guys, have a great rest of the day and happy National Chocolate Candy Day, everyone.
We should just have like chocolate for lunch. I think that would be a decent idea. I don't know if anybody is going to object to having chocolate for lunch, except for your dentist might object to it. My wife would object to it because it's not very healthy. But either way, yeah, that's right. The OG. Thank you for the Thunder Chat. Sorry, the super chat for the Thundercat reference. There you go. Like Thundercat's on my head. It's a weird show. And I feel like the other day I saw an episode on YouTube and I was just like, I cannot believe I watched that thing. I don't know how well it holds up, but anyways, it was part of my childhood. So I'll definitely give it a bit of a shout out whenever I get a chance. Please do not forget, we're going to take a very, very short break. We have to go to the bathroom, refill. My water's empty as well, Sean. And then we're going to come back on. We're going to have Mark Roberts with us for our members-only Q&A. So there is still time to sign up. Thank you to all the people that already have. But jump in, ask us anything you'd like, market or unrelated. Please don't ask me about Thundercats because it's already embarrassing enough. But as I said, guys, it's one of those weeks where, and Sean, you'll probably say the same thing too, the morning trades are going to be good, but it'll start tapering off in terms of volume. So you want to come in with a plan, know what stocks to watch. That's why we start earlier and go over all the names on our watch list. And then a few ones that Brendan gives to you because that BTBT, not on anybody's radar. Well, at least it wasn't on our radar to start the day. And then Brendan gives it to you. Got a nice little long trade there. I'd be very careful with that ACY if you're still holding it. It is still going to be halted. It is now 11:30. Please stick around if you're a member, of course, for our Q&A. But for the entire team here, for Ms. V, thank you for National Chocolate Day. For Sean, thank you for reminding me to refill my water as well. For Brennan Wickens and BTBT, I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you are in the world, this is Trader TV Live. We'll see you tomorrow, but also in 5, guys.